Wrestling Days Live. We are live for this week's Smackdown. And what a Smackdown we should have. This is, it's not the go home show yet, but we're certainly getting close. So we are getting ever closer towards that Smackdown Survivor Series go home show. That's next weekend. So it isn't the go home show yet. I've had a few people asking, do I think that Raw are going to invade tonight? I think there's a chance. There's more of a chance tonight than there's been before. I don't know if they will. They might just save it for next week. So, because if you do it this week, what are you going to do next week? I'm pretty sure they will invade, but I think they'll invade next week. So I'm that one I'm leaning towards no. If I had to bet, I would say no, not tonight. I think they'll do it next week. I think you could see SmackDown invade Raw on Monday, and then you get Raw retaliating on the Friday. But I mean, it could happen. I'm feeling more confident about them invading tonight than I have at any point in the past few weeks. So yeah, we've got that to keep an eye on. There was no official preview from WWE. There was nothing that came out in regards to what we're going to see on the show tonight. I don't know any matches. I don't know any segments. I've had a look at quite a few of the news outlets, and it seems like WWE haven't previewed anything. So we're kind of going into this one a little bit blind, but that might not be a bad thing. I wish we knew what the main event tonight was. I know I keep banging on about this, but I am a firm believer that you should know what the main events are. Like, we should be sitting here at least excited for one thing. But right now, I don't know a single match. I don't know anything that's on the show tonight. There was no SmackDown preview on Raw. There was nothing that said join us Friday for whatever. I didn't see any of those. And as I said, there's been no announcements that have come out in regards to SmackDown. Shout out to everyone that's joining us in the chat. Of course, the big talking point right now is Zelina Vega. And we will move on to that subject. There's really nothing new in regards to like breaking news. I mean, the breaking news is that she has gone from WWE. I can't see any reasons as to why. I've seen on Wikipedia someone has already changed it, saying that she's gone because she supports unionization. I don't know that that's true, and I would just be very careful about believing that, because they will have spoke to her probably there at the building, because it's SmackDown, isn't it? So she was probably at the building. She probably got called into a meeting. This is just speculation on my part, but my guess would be she was at SmackDown. She got called into a meeting, told she was being let go, and that was it. She was done. And then before WWE got a chance to announce it, she sent that message out. She sent a tweet out saying, I support unionization. I do not for 1 second believe she tweeted it. They saw it, and then they released her. Like, there's only about 10 minutes difference. Do you know what I mean? I've seen people out there saying that she's lost her job because of that tweet. I don't know. That came out after she will have found out. So, yeah, she obviously had got a fans-only account. All of this is very grey. All of this is very grey as to what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. I think part of the reason why it's grey is because WWE keep moving the goalposts. You might remember at first, I remember Steph coming out saying that they love the fact that superstars have got these other avenues and they want to support them better. I don't know if you remember Steph saying that, but she came out and was saying about how, no, we don't want to shut them down. We want to help them. And she came out and tried to put this positive spin on it. And then a few weeks later, the whole story changes again where, yeah, we are shutting them down. We are shutting them down now. And so all of a sudden you start to see these Twitch accounts starting to close. But the latest that we heard was that YouTube accounts were going to be protected. They were going to be okay. And we theorized on this channel that maybe that was because you can double check a YouTube video. Like, if I make a video now, I could send it over to WWE if I work for them. They could look at it and go, yeah, that's fine, we're happy with that. And then I could upload it. Whereas if I'm streaming live like this, well, there's no way they can check, is there? Because this is live, we're streaming. I could say or do anything. that could bring the company into disrepute. So I did understand, I suppose, the streaming aspect, because of it bringing, that person could say and do anything and it couldn't be checked. I suppose WWE are investing a lot of money into these people. And, if they just go and throw it away because they do something stupid, say something stupid on a live stream, that would come back and hurt WWE. WWE would lose their investment, wouldn't they? So I suppose in a way I did understand that. And I also understand why YouTube would be all right. Now, the only thing I know with Zelina is that she's got this for fans only account, which tends to be more risque kind of stuff. Like, I think you had to pay like $30 a month or something, and it would basically unlock her account. And then you could view it like you would a Twitter account or a Facebook account. So she would post messages there, but also she would be uploading pictures. And we spoke about this previously. I was like, she is not going to be uploading pictures of her dressed as Jabba the Hutt, right? She's going to be uploading pictures of her. Granted, you're not going to see like nudity and stuff like that, but I can't imagine she's going to be wearing a great deal because people are paying £30 a month to see images, basically. And, she's going to have to give them some up for that money. So, it's a bit seedy. There's no two ways about it. I think that when it comes to OnlyFans, there is this kind of connotation that's connected to it, that it's a bit of a seedier place to be. Perhaps it's moving away from that now, but certainly that was my impression of it, and maybe that was WWE's also. And as a result, I think there's a really good chance they've turned around and told her that she's got to shut that down, and she doesn't want it. And as a result, this is where we are. And straight away, she's come out and said, "I support unionization." So that's currently where my mind is at with it. That's currently where I think we're at, because kind of putting all the pieces together, that's what the puzzle looks like. I've also seen a lot of people saying about Aleister Black. Now, I could be wrong, but I would not worry too much about Aleister Black. Couple of reasons. When the Montreal screw job happened, you would immediately think Owen Hart would be gone, wouldn't you? I mean, like, there's no way Owen Hart is going to stay after what they've just done to Brett. Not true. Owen Hart stuck around. Also, when Miro left, that's it. Lana's gone. Lana will be gone. Not true. Lana stuck around and actually is getting some good TV time. I know a lot of people think she's being buried, but
Dazzy, the party is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat. Party face, party people, party face. Hey Days. How are you Days? Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Keep the people going baby E. Party.
Shout out to you B Tazzy, hope you're well buddy. Hope you are well. Looks like you're in the mood for a party. I don't know that Zelina is right now. But, it's shout out to you, B Tazzy. Hope you are well, buddy. Yeah, so what I was saying about Aleister Black was, Owen Hart didn't go after the Montreal screw job. We also didn't see Lana just walking away. Aleister's going to have a contract. Now, is there a chance that he won't re-sign that contract? Yes, there is. But I think he's a professional. I don't think he's going to be causing too much trouble. I think he'll be unhappy. I think there'll be meetings. I think that they'll try and reassure him that he's got a future. I think that you might actually see them trying to sweeten Aleister Black a little bit. They might give him a little something now as a result of this. Like Rusev went and here we go. Do you know what I mean? Lana's getting more TV time than ever. Bret Hart and the Montreal screw job happened, and straight away they went to speak to Owen and say, "We want you to be our #1 Canadian star going forward." Like, this is what they do.
Jaden Hunter Jack and Jared WWE fan is a legend. They donated $2.99 via a super chat. Has Smackdown started?
Jaden Hunter, no, not yet, dude. It won't start for another 50 minutes. But there's quite a bit going on in the world of wrestling, and we always start an hour before. So, we've got 50 minutes to go. And then SmackDown will begin. As we said, we actually don't know anything that's on the show tonight. There's no segments that have been announced. There's no matches that have been announced. They might be coming out as I speak. I did have a quick look about half an hour ago on the Twitter, WWE Twitter, and there was nothing there. So, but as I said, as I'm talking, then they
Always
might be
Big O
releasing
is a
some
legend.
info.
They donated $5 via a super chat. Aleister Black is going through some tables via Nia Jax.
You think that's what they'll do? You think that they'll put him through a table? Well, it's working for Lana. That's what I'll say. Lauren just said that there has been some things announced. So let's jump over and see what they've come out with. I suppose no great surprise because they want the conversation to move on, don't they, from Zelina Vega. But shout out to you, always Big O. Let's have a look and see what's down. Hayden Garrett as well. We've got Rey Mysterio and Rollins have both agreed to make
Garrett is a legend.
A match.
They donated
tonight.
$5 New Zealand via a super chat. Hey Days, how are you doing, my friend? Also, I just got a haircut.
Congratulations, buddy. Shout out to you, Hayden. Getting a haircut. I desperately need one of them myself, but I am still rocking the Sami Zayn look at the moment. So Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio are going to have a match tonight. It doesn't say that's a qualifier for anything. I think it's just a match. We got Sami Zayn putting on the IC title on the line against Apollo. That's interesting. Any title matches right now are interesting because, of course, it could change Survivor Series. I mean, what if Sami loses against Apollo and then we end up getting Apollo versus Bobby Lashley? I've got to be honest, that excites me even less than Sami versus Bobby. I like Sami. I think Bobby is legit, but I suppose if Sami was a face, I would be into that match more because I like Sami and I think Bobby needs to work with someone like Sami to have a great match. I'm sure it's got potential to be a great match. But because they're both heels, it's not doing it for me. There's like heels everywhere at Survivor Series. There really are. It's like a woman's wardrobe. So, yeah, we've got Sami Zayn taking on Apollo, and that's it. Them two matches, that's all.
William Hensey is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat. Hey Days pulled off the road to have dinner and catch your stream. Drop my trailer and head home. Love your brother, heart, thumbs up.
Shout out to you, William Hensey. Hope you are well, buddy. I'm pleased that you pulled over whilst you was watching the stream. Yeah, we do have big breaking news, as we said, about Zelina Vega, and a few bits of information coming through as to what we can expect on the show tonight. Anna Dawes says, I don't agree with WWE shutting down talent's Twitch channels. These are supposed to be independent contractors, so they should be able to make money with third-party deals under their own names. Do you know, I do absolutely agree. I do agree with that. I think it's so clear that they're not independent contractors, though. That's the sticking point, isn't it? I mean, they're just not. Like, that just shouldn't even be in the contract. They the reason it's there, I think, is to do with, like, if they're proper employees, then they have to give them certain benefits like healthcare and all this kind of stuff. And like, they don't want to. Basically, it's going to cost a lot of money for them to do that, so keep them independent contractors. But WWE can't have their cake and eat it. But so I agree. If you ignore the independent contractor thing because it's just not what we're doing anyway, that's what brings me back to the point I made earlier, in that I can understand WWE investing a lot of money into these people, and as a result not wanting to see that investment sour by them going on to a stream and saying so much stupid. I mean, I suppose you could argue they should have more confidence in the people that they employ, but we have seen it time and time again. We have seen it time and time again where people have said very, very stupid things. So, yeah, I can see the Twitch thing, but I definitely agree with what you're saying, Anna Dawes. A great point. A great point.
Kermit the Frog, who is a legend.
Oh, hello.
They donated $1.99 via a super chat. Where should Zelina Vega go after WWE? Potato.
Do you know what was really funny about that? She completely butchered Zelina. She really struggled to say it. But then she dropped a beautiful potato after, didn't she? Where should Vega go after WWE? Potato. Perhaps she's jealous of her or something. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with our voiceover woman, but she's clearly got issues with Zelina Vega. She ran her down by not pronouncing her name right, and then impressed us all with the potato at the end. So I'm on to her. Kermode Defragu says, where should Zelina Vega go? Well, you would have to think that they would be interested in bringing her to AEW and Impact. I don't think she's going to be limited for places to go, but I do think this is going to sting because, of course, you know, she was around her friends. She has obviously been with the company a good few years now. She's got a good relationship with the likes of Andrade and Angel Garza. She obviously is in a marriage. Is she actually married? I still don't know if she's married or not. I think she is. She's certainly in a relationship, but I think she's married to Aleister Black. So, yeah, like, it's going to sting. It's going to really sting to have to restart at a new company somewhere like AEW or Impact. And she just might not want to. I mean, honestly, she posts a lot of pictures of her in cosplay and a lot of her dressing up and stuff like that. Granted, there's been those videos of her training with Aleister, which is awesome, and I wish there was more of them than there were the cosplay pictures, to be honest. Like the cosplay stuff is a bit too out there for me. Like I know it's cool and I know that people appreciate it, but yeah, I don't know where her heart is. Let's put it that way. I don't know if her heart is in wrestling and being a wrestler, or if her heart is in, I was going to say dressing up, but that sounded a bit wrong, didn't it? In like cosplay, because she seems to have a real passion for that. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think when she joined WWE, wasn't she in the relationship with Austin Aries? I think she was in a relationship with Austin Aries, which might be how she got in, because Austin Aries had just joined. And obviously their relationship didn't work out and she ended up getting with Aleister Black. You'd have to think and, well, certainly hope that she's in a very stable place now and she's found happiness, and I don't know, maybe she might not feel the need to go anywhere else. It's a tough one. Does she love the wrestling business? Does she love being a manager? Does she love wrestling itself? Or has she reached a point where she's quite content and maybe now she's going to want to go off and do a fans only and a cosplay thing, and I don't know. Hard. Perhaps she could go to a place that will let her do both, like AEW. AEW been very vocal about allowing their superstars do both, so she might not have to choose. She could just work once in a while in the ring and carry on in her spare time doing the OnlyFans thing. So yeah, I think she's shown that she's a decent wrestler. She obviously doesn't have size on her side, which is maybe a small problem. Obviously not as bad in the women's division. And AEW's got quite a few small female wrestlers anyway. I don't know if she's a game changer for like a women's division. We haven't seen a great deal of her in ring, but she can certainly do some eye-catching stuff. I mean, we've seen her doing, head scissor takedowns quite a few times, and she had a few nice moments in her matches against Asuka. I remember watching her matches with Asuka, and she did a few things that really caught the eye. So she's a decent wrestler. Let's not make out that she's, not going to bring something. She'll certainly bring the name right now. She is the talk of the wrestling world right now tonight. Everyone's talking about Zelina. So, yeah, I think AEW would be wise to maybe capitalize on that. Just have her around for a little bit and then see how it works out. I could see that happening. And you would think that AEW would probably offer more than what Impact would. So, yeah, I wouldn't rule anything out, to be honest. JNN says, losing your job over OnlyFans. When is a day's OnlyFans coming? It's already up. I just don't use this name. Bixair, shout out to you, my friend. Cora Turner, shout out to you. Brony says, Days, I know this is never happening, but who would you pick if it was between Asuka and Roman getting let go? Getting let go. Who would I want out to be let go? I wouldn't want to answer it, to be honest. I mean, like, first of all, I don't know. I'd have to give it some thought, and no one likes to see anyone getting let go. You know, I hate the fact that Zelina Vega's been let go. Like, you wanted to see her. I think I wanted to see her stay with Andrade, to be honest. I think her having an occasional mixed tag match and maybe having a match against some of the lower women in the division and getting some wins and building her up as, like, you never quite know how good she is, but you know that she's a threat. I always like that. I thought her with Andrade was great.
Is a legend. They donated £2.99 via a super chat. Days. I have DM'd you something important. Potato.
Shout out to C Wrestling. Saw a great message from him on Twitter earlier today, which you should check him out if you haven't. But I know many of you have. That's cool. Oh, I like the first one. Honestly, as I was scrolling up, I was like, has he sent me a nude? I think he sent me a nude. I don't know how. I don't know which one I can get in the background. I'll go with that one. I'll go with this one. I'll go with, if I can get it to actually move over. C Wrestling has kindly sent some images for the background, and if it'll work, I think did you said this is a picture of Austin 316. So C has sent through a picture of our very own community member Austin 316, which is really cool, really nice. I don't know if any of you have seen Austin 316 before. Obviously, he joins us every stream. He's probably not in this one. In fact, I haven't seen him in this one. That's good. It's always better to talk about someone when they're not around. So that's what Mama used to say. So yeah, let me bring this up. Hang on. There we go. Look at that. There he is. There is Austin, our very own Austin 316. Look at that. Amazing. That courtesy of our very good friend C Wrestling. So feel free to thank C Wrestling for that. Chalmers says, what's your favorite romantic storyline? My favorite romantic storyline is me and Austin 316. Oh, Austin is here. Austin, you'll never guess what C Wrestling was saying about you. Have you just joined? Yeah, that is, honestly, mate, I stuck up for you. Yeah. You don't have to thank me. You don't have to thank me, mate. I stuck up. I was like, that's a bit out of order. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. KJ Carter, shout out to you. Days, what's your Twitter? I want to send you some awesome figure setups. At Wrestling Days is my Twitter. No, there's another one. I'll show you one more. That C has sent through. And this is the real Austin 316. This is how C Wrestling sees Austin 316. That's not how I see Austin 316. This is very much how I see Austin 316. He's a really good guy. It's a really good guy. There it is. Boom. Can I just say, that is amazing. Right, before we actually even, like, start doing anything else, that is an actual potato. Like, isn't that incredible? That's incredible, isn't it? Like, and it's also a little bit freaky. I have never wanted to eat a potato as much as I want to eat that one. But how crazy is that? That is very much how I see our good friend Austin 316. But more than that, that is an actual potato. Can I just say the voiceover woman is love it. She's probably crying with joy right now. She's probably just absolutely shedding tears of joy. She loves potatoes. There's going to be a lot of people watching this that are going to have no idea what we're talking about, and that's fine. We're just a little bit of light relief. That's what we're having, because we've been talking about unionization, Zelina Vega. You know what I mean? We're talking about some pretty heavy stuff. So let's look at some pictures of potatoes. So there we go. So yeah, shout out to C Wrestling for sending those through. So if you are just joining us, then we're amazingly already almost halfway through this pre-show. We've got some news that's broken through in regards to what we can expect to see tonight. There's 2 matches. I'm just going to jump over, see if they've announced anything else. No. 2 matches. We've got Seth Rollins against Rey Mysterio. And we've also got a Intercontinental Championship match tonight. Sami Zayn taking on Apollo Crews. So we've got both of those. As I've said, there's every chance that we do see that title change in hands. I would hope not, but any title defense this close to Survivor Series has to be looked at with suspicion. Do you know what I mean? Like, are they doing it to book a different match? But they can't, surely, they can't want to take Sami out and put Apollo in. Who wants to do that? Like, Apollo's perfectly fine, but he's got no momentum. I don't think he's a great promo. In-ring is pretty solid, but I've never seen, like, a 4-star match or above from him. I know he used to tear it up on the indie scene, but that was a long time ago now. I never saw much from him in NXT, and since he's come up, granted, he's not really had much of an opportunity to show what he can do, but he had a all right United States title reign, but again, none of those matches were like incredible. So yeah, I wouldn't be changing the belt there. I would. It's difficult. So I think Survivor Series, now that they've brought in this new champion versus champion thing, I think it's really difficult, because like Bobby's probably the right person to be the United States champ, and Sami is probably the right person to be the Intercontinental champ. But Bobby versus Sami is not a good match. It's not a match that I think is going to get people to desperately tune into a pay-per-view. Do you know what I mean? It's not a dream match. There's not really much intrigue there. If Bobby wins because he's stronger, so be it. I think it'd be a bit of a shock if Sami won, but I don't know. It's a rock and a hard place, isn't it? Apollo versus Lashley was Vince's match of the year. That's why we've seen it so much, says C Wrestling. Jerry Smith, shout out to you. Glasgow Geek 1985 says, well done. Oh, hang on, the woman can read it out. I don't even need to. I don't need to do that. Although she is taking her time. I think she's still drooling over those pictures of potatoes we put up. Jerry Smith.
Glasgow Geek 1985 is a legend. They donated £5 via a super chat. Well done to the Scotland national team. All behind Scotland, England and Wales. Hoping to see Murphy stab the knife right into Rollins' back tonight.
Well, that took a dark turn, didn't it? Well done to the Scotland team. Well done to England, Wales. I'm hoping to see Murphy stab Seth Rollins in the back tonight. What? You know, when you're having a very pleasant conversation, then that person just comes out with something absolutely insane. I feel like that's just happened. But yeah, shout out to you, Glasgow Geek 1985. Yeah, big result for Scotland. I was really pleased for them. And real shame for Northern Ireland as well. Again, I know a lot of people won't know what we're talking about, but the Euros are coming up very, very soon. And yeah, it's a big deal. Like next year, and we now know what teams are going to be a part of it. So yeah, well done to Scotland. It's brilliant news. In regards to Murphy, that is a very interesting conversation, isn't it? Because he heavily teased that he was, it's under control, and he's gonna stab Seth in the back, as you say. I don't know that. Would Seth be that stupid? I suppose he would, But would he be that stupid? I mean, like, this is where I struggle when it comes to, like, heels. Do you know what I mean? And things. Like, just wrestling in general. Like, I would love it. I would love it if Murphy does try to stab Seth in the back, but he foils it. He's like, you really think I'm that stupid? You really think I'm that stupid? I mean, like, he could have gone home and watched last week's show back and saw the bit where he spoke to Aaliyah and he said, I've got this under control. Or, failing that, has no one sent him... What, Becky? Becky's at home pregnant? She's surely watching the show. She's got nothing else to do. So, like, what's going to stop her going, just so you know, it's a trap? I mean, like, I understand. It's not the biggest problem in the world. And I understand that to, like, you know, you have to kind of suspend disbelief to a degree. But, yeah, I don't know. For me, that's kind of what stops these stories from really hitting home. That's for me, they're these little things that you have to, where you're constantly having to, like, suspend disbelief. That's where it prevents the stories going to the next level. If Seth turned around and went, do you think I'm stupid? Do you think that I didn't see what you said last week? That's where this story gets interesting then. That's, for me, that's where, wow, now, you know, now we're actually paying attention to the detail. So, yeah, I'm really interested in it, but I know it won't go that way. But it is interesting, and we'll still see what happens, and I'm sure we'll see Aaliyah. And obviously, Seth in a match with Ray means that we're sure to see Dominic. And although I don't know where Angie's gone. I miss Angie. She, the silent Mysterio. So, yeah. I think she's had enough, hasn't she? I don't think she's got any hopes of, like, having a career in WWE. So she's like, I'm going to go home. But, like, Dominic's loving it. Aaliyah's loving it. Ray's loving it. And Angie's like, yeah, I'm going home. Dumpling does. Shout out to you. 7-star. Hope you are well. Chalmers says, when do you think Seth will be written off? Well, it can't be too much longer, can it? It can't be too much longer. I think they're going to want... I think they're going to want him for Mania. And they're going to want, hopefully, Becky for Mania as well. I don't know if they'll have her in a match or if it'll just be an appearance. But I don't know. I don't actually know her due date. But I've got a feeling it's the end of the year. I've got a feeling that it's been planned so that they don't miss Mania. So I would imagine that he will be gone, like, literally just after Survivor Series. Maybe TLC would be his blow-off. And that's it. I can't see him going past that. And then he'll be gone for a good, I don't know, maybe a month or so. Maybe comes back in the Rumble. And then we build towards WrestleMania. So, yeah, I don't think it'll be long. It's either Survivor Series or TLC, and then we're done. Birrock says, Days, despite how big WWE are selling this Undertaker farewell with the photo shoots, they were good. I was looking at those yesterday. I think they'll be building towards a final match with The Fiend. After all, it is his final farewell, not match. Is The Fiend the right person? Is The Fiend the right person? I suppose you could argue yes. Because, obviously, The Undertaker beat Bray at WrestleMania 31. And, you know, you would have to think that he's not forgotten. And he would want to get some revenge for that setback. So, you know, on that hand, you would say yes. It also helps put the Fiend character over because... you know, he's managed to beat The Undertaker, so that would be huge. So I do see all of that. Part of me just thinks, though, that you're going to get a better match if it's AJ Styles. I think Undertaker has got a history with AJ and the Boneyard. I kind of feel like you should do both. I feel like he should face the Fiend and Fiend win. And maybe... dare I say, and people are not going to like it. People won't like it. I'm going to say it. but people won't like it. I need people to know they're not going to like what I'm going to say. Fiend, Undertaker, Saudi Arabia. I said, didn't I? I said people won't like it. The only reason I say it is because I don't know where we are with the pandemic come February, but we always go to Saudi Arabia in February. And you've got to know they will demand The Undertaker. Can you imagine The Undertaker not going to Saudi Arabia? Like, they're dragging back any legend they can find. And now all of a sudden they're not going to take The Undertaker. I would struggle with that. I think that he is a big part of those Saudi shows. They love him over there. And I think he's got to go. I think he's got to go to Saudi Arabia. It wouldn't surprise me if it was in the contract that he's contracted to be there. So yeah, I think that they're spending a lot of money for the Saudi Arabia shows. I think that they tend to happen every February.
Craig Bohr is a legend. And, they donated £4.99 via a super chat. Hey days. Who do you think will be the next 3 WWE champions and the next Universal champions? Get your crystal ball out, my friend.
Let me finish this point first. So, I think Undertaker goes. Now, there's every chance that he would go and he would be doing promos and he would be just talking over there. There's every chance of that, right? So that he could still go and not have to wrestle. But what you could do is you could do Fiend Undertaker in Saudi, and then at WrestleMania, you could do Undertaker AJ. I think Undertaker AJ, for me, has
Wacky Naribi is a legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chat. Days you're trying to kill the Undertaker, lol.
Trying to no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He, yeah, I think I would much rather he goes over there and does a match rather than goes over there and cuts a pointless promo. So you could do Undertaker Fiend, and then you could do Undertaker AJ, and I think that would be a good final match for him because of the Boneyard, because of last year, also because AJ is one of the best in-ring talents. I think it's hopefully going to give us an incredible match. So that way you do the Fiend match and you also do the AJ match. So maybe people wouldn't go that way. I think I would. I think I would book it that way. Craig says, who do you think will be the next 3 WWE champions and the next Universal champions? 3 might be pushing it because I'm hoping that we're going quite far into the future. I would not have Roman drop the belt this year, next year either. Like, I would keep the belt on Roman till WrestleMania 38. And again, I know that sounds a long time, but it's got to mean something when he's finally beaten. Like, him being a heel is huge, and giving him a good, long, healthy title reign is big deal. There's no point taking the belt. He's only just won it, so there's no point taking the belt off him anytime soon. You could take it off him at WrestleMania, but honestly, if you do him versus The Rock doesn't need it. The Rock's not going to really bring much if he's got the belt. He'll probably have a rematch and just drop it. And honestly, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother for the sake of just doing a rematch. Keep the belt on Roman. So I'd keep the belt on Roman. I'd ultimately have him lose it to Big E, but he'd be losing it in 2022. So at that point, the world looks a very different place, doesn't it? So I would struggle to go beyond that because there's every chance that he would just win it back, like a little further down the line. But you've got to think we're building towards Big E being in that main event scene. So I would do that. In regards to WWE belt, I think Randy's going to keep it till WrestleMania and then lose it to Edge. And then I think after that is very interesting. I don't think Edge will have a very long title reign. But I think that he'll have a WrestleMania moment. And I could see Edge then having to drop it to a heel so that the Fiend could then ultimately get it. So not sure what heel. Don't know if he loses it back to... It's difficult. It's difficult. I don't know if he loses it back to Randy. I mean, Randy and Fiend is definitely going to happen, isn't it? So I would think... I think Edge definitely at Mania. Maybe then he loses it back to Randy. and then maybe the Fiend gets it off Randy. So something along those lines. Right, I think, man, we are losing time here. We are losing time. Joaquin says, Deja trying to kill The Undertaker. You know they're going back, bud. You know they're going back. What do you think about Sasha Bailey at WrestleMania 37? I don't mind that match at all. I don't mind that match. I suppose the only thing is that we've seen them a couple of times now. Their matches are very good. But I don't know. Is it something people want to see still again? Even by the time we get to WrestleMania, I mean, it will be great. But I don't know. I think there's you could do that, but I think there's other matches that you could do. I'm really high on Bianca Belair. I'd like to see her getting a push now. I think by then as well, you probably got Becky coming back. You might have Ronda coming back. I think there's going to be some movement with the women's division. Big Show versus The Fiend. Mark Henry versus Undertaker versus Braun. Dimension Gaming, shout out to you. What are you going to do with your days? That's a good idea. Undertaker should have done the job for Bray, says Brother Nero, at WrestleMania 31 and then retired, just like Cena should have at 30. The Fiend's WrestleMania legacy should be taking back losses. Days, when do you think Ronda Rousey will return? Well, I mean, look, I'd like to think that she will because I was a big fan of Ronda Rousey. I know a lot of people weren't. Or I think people were. I think people really liked her WrestleMania 34 match. And I think people were really impressed and were really on board. And I think everything was going fine until Becky turned at the SummerSlam and became the man. And then all of a sudden, she became like the hottest thing in wrestling, not just in the women's division, not even just in WWE. For a short period of time around that Survivor Series, where she's standing at that moment with the blood, she's the hottest thing in wrestling. She's the biggest deal in wrestling. And she eclipses Ronda Rousey at that point. And then obviously we build towards Ronda, Becky, Charlotte. And Becky gets the big win, doesn't she, at WrestleMania? So, and now obviously she's gone. And Ronda went after that match as well. I don't think you can bring her in as a face. I don't think people are going to cheer for Ronda. I really like Ronda. I think she'll bring something. And maybe bring her back around early 2021 Rumble. Maybe a Rumble appearance, put her in the Rumble. I don't know if she wins the Rumble, though. That's the only thing. I don't know if she wins the Rumble. Because Becky could win the Rumble again. She could return. There's lots of... The Rumble is looking tasty. There's a lot of people that are missing at the moment that could be brought back that way. Craig says, what if Edge turned heel? He was a fan fave.
Craig Bohr is a legend.
Very interesting.
They donated £1.99 via a super chat. What if Edge turned heel? He was a fan fave heel.
Would people boo Edge considering what he's been through? Do you know what I mean? That's a hard sell. That's a hard sell. Considering we never thought that he would wrestle again. For him to get back to wrestling and then have that match. I mean, make no mistake about it. Even if you don't class it as a match and you class it as a cinematic piece, it still deserves a mention for the best matches of the year at the end of the year. Even if it doesn't get the top spot in your list, I think you still got to talk about Randy Orton Edge at Backlash, the greatest wrestling match ever. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I don't know if people would boo him, is the truth. I don't know. I don't know if that's even a problem, but I think it would be a hard thing to execute. Let's put it that way. Becky got over organically, says Heather. Not her fault. No, not her fault. I mean, she did a great job. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Austin says, I would do Becky versus Ronda without the title and do Asuka versus Charlotte too. But this time, Asuka wins. You know I'm into that, Austin. I'm all over that idea. Let's scroll down. When do you think Brock Lesnar is going to return and attack Roman Reigns? Asks Family of Hope Vlogs fan. I don't know if it'd go that way, to be honest. I mean, it could. It could. But I don't know if it would. I don't know if it would. I mean, like, Brock would... It's a very interesting question. What happens when Brock comes back? I mean, as far as I know, he's not under contract at the moment. I don't think they've got any plans for him. I don't even know if they're going to look to use him at WrestleMania, to be honest. But I would kind of... I don't know. Honestly, I think that's one of the harder questions. How do you book Brock now? I mean, do you bring him back as a face and have Roman as a heel? I don't know. Would people cheer Brock? People don't like the fact that Brock only wrestles a few times a year, so getting people to cheer Brock is going to be difficult. I don't know what I would do, actually. I think part of the problem is I can't find these big faces. I can't find these big, massive faces to trouble Roman. Like, who's bringing problems to Roman? I can't see where they're coming from. I think Roman easily gets past the likes of, say, a Kevin Owens, maybe a Big E right now. I think Big E ultimately could become that big baby face, but I don't think he's quite there yet. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you would have to bring Brock back as a face or try it, because there's very few alternatives out there, actually, looking at it. The Celtic 1888 says, Movember bros. Shout out to you. Eric says, Goldberg is a god. William Hensey, shout out to you. I would rather
the Celtic
see Sting
1888 is a legend. They donated €2.29 via a super chat. Movember brothers. Fire, fire.
Shout out to you, dude. 1-1 says, did you hear the rumors about the Bellas coming back? WWE would definitely take the Bellas back. They would welcome the Bellas back with open arms, because what you're doing is you're injecting some, dare I say, legends? The reason I use that word is because they're all over Total Divas. They're all over Total Bellas. They're going into the Hall of Fame. Their social media is off the chart. Like, they do have a connection with a lot of fans, and some of those fans might now be lapsed wrestling fans. They might enjoy watching Total Bellas, but that doesn't mean they tune into Raw, and that doesn't mean they tune into SmackDown. So by WWE bringing the Bellas in, are you bringing in some of those fans that left as well? They may move the dial a little, not much, but a little for their segments. I mean, honestly, if you look at it and you go, right, well, do I want Natalya versus Lacey Evans, or do I want Natalya versus Nikki Bella? Like, there's no denying there which one's going to get you bigger ratings. So, yeah, they would welcome him back with open arms. And then also, you know, you could do the women's tag titles. There's a ready-made story anyway. Them going after the tag belts. I don't believe they've ever won them. I don't think they were around when they were in. I'm trying to think if they did pick them up once or something, like, you know, for a short time, but I don't think they have. I honestly, it's quite surprising. I can't remember the history of the women's tag titles. Like, I know Sasha and Bayley held them for a long time, but, like, having to go back, I know then Alexa, Nikki Cross, but did I can't even remember if Trish and Lita have held them. I think they competed for them, but I don't think they held them. But anyway, I don't believe the Bellas have either. So, ready-made story. Bring them back and have them go after the belts. So, yeah, I don't mind them coming in. The thing with the Bellas is that they're not for me. It's not a segment that I'm going to be excited about. But you've got to know that that segment is very much aimed at total bellas, total divas, and that kind of a market. So, Pad7671 says, did you know Ringside Collectibles have now released the 2-pack of Cody and Dustin? Yes, I did see that, and looks very good. It's got like blood coming down because obviously it's based on their match. Can't remember what show it was from, but it was from one of the pay-per-views last year, and it's a really good looking set. Really good looking set. Days, what would you think of Undertaker Tyson Fury? I wouldn't think much of it, to be honest. I mean, like, could you drum up some excitement in that? I kind of feel like that would have the same intrigue as like Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. It's kind of like, is it going to be an incredible showcase of skill? No. But is it interesting? Yeah. Do you want to know who wins? Yeah. I think it's one of them. Tyson, if he comes in, shouldn't wrestle because he can't wrestle. He showed us that against Braun Strowman. I mean, like, he was trying to do kip-ups and he was trying to do, like, just clotheslines and all this kind of stuff. It's like, that's not what you're known for, mate. Just keep throwing that big right hand. Undertaker's quite interesting because he is known as the purest striker in WWE, but I don't think there's anyone on this planet that believes he's going to outstrike Tyson Fury. So that would make for a very interesting contest of how would he beat Tyson Fury. You'd have to try and take him down. You'd have to try and keep him grounded. But then I suppose we're straying into like MMA territory and you might start losing people then. So, I don't know. It'd be a fight that I suppose I'd be interested in seeing, but I would have quite low expectations for. Let's put it that way. Toby says, there were Kabuki Warriors. Yes. Alexa and Nikki. Sasha and Bailey. Is that all? Have the Iconics never won it then? I mean, look, the women's tag titles just have made very little impression on me. To the fact where I'm struggling to tell you how many champions there's been and who the champions are. And I've been streaming every single show since those belts came into existence. So it's kind of like the 24/7 belt. If someone was to turn around and go, has Titus O'Neil ever been the 24/7 champ? I'd be like, don't know. I don't know. Interesting. When do you think we'll see Goldberg return? Hopefully never. Hopefully never. Shantae Stevens, shout out to you, my friend. Chalmers says the Iconics have won it. Here we go, look, see? Now we've got the chat getting a little confused as to who's won it. It doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, no one cares, so it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, if the Bellas come back, then I could see it quite interesting if they went for them. If they said, like, who should have been women's tag champs more than us.
Ashanti Stevens is a legend. They donated $4.99 via a super chat. Now they may bring back Cena for one more match, probably have him go up with Roman Reigns for the belt. Or have a return Punk or Wade Barrett.
I don't think Punk's coming back. Punk, did you see the message he sent out? Linda McMahon was talking about the election and was talking about like how unfair it was. And let's not get into it. This isn't politics, right? So don't care where you lie on that. But all I'm telling you is CM Punk replied to her with a picture of, you know, when he was sat on the barricade waving and he's got the belt and he's leaving WWE. He posted that picture, but rather than his face, he put Joe Biden's face. So it looked like Joe Biden was like, bye. So he was trolling Linda McMahon on Twitter. So you kind of look at that and go, yeah, he's clearly not coming back, is he? He's. I mean, like, you wouldn't do that. Not to Linda. I can't see him doing it to Linda. Linda's like, I kind of feel like Vince forgives a lot of stuff that happens against him, but I don't know if he'd forgive if people are like trolling Linda. He might not care. I don't know. I've heard he's terrible to Linda. Linda, if you're watching, leave him. Come join me. There's room on the sofa, Linda. You can join me and stream out to the masses, Linda. Yeah? Just saying, the invitation's there. So, yeah, I don't know that Punk's coming in. Barrett wants one more match. They could bring Barrett in. It would take a lot of work to build him up, though. It would take quite a lot of work. I think there's a lot of fans that won't know who he is. You got to think about all the kids that have started watching over the past few years. Wade Barrett's been gone a good few years now, so take a bit of work to build him back up. I don't know if you'd get him up to like a Roman main event level. That's a long road. Right now, he's just the commentator on NXT. So to kind of get him back into the ring and build him up to Roman's level, that's, I don't know. Cena coming back would be cool, but Cena's got to come back as a heel. We've said this before. I mean, like that Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania, it's got to have consequence. Because most of us are still looking at it going, I haven't got a flip what happened there. I ain't got a clue. I can give you some theories, but I don't actually know what happened. All I know is that Cena was in a feud with Bray. Something happened at WrestleMania, and we've not seen John Cena since. So there's got to be repercussions from that. So if he comes back, I would want to see him embracing his darker side like Alexa has now. And so he would have to come back heel. It would be really cool, though, if he came back in, like, his normal attire. And then during his match, like, he wins the match or whatever. And after the bell, just keeps pounding away. Just keeps going. And, like, it becomes very apparent this is a new John Cena. That would be cool. That would be really cool. Brian says, did you hear about Zelina Vega? We did, yes. We've just been chatting about it. We spoke about it a little earlier. Obviously, terrible news. Terrible news. You don't want to see anyone losing their jobs, and certainly not at this time as well. But as I said in the little video that I did put out about it, there's clearly, and I know this is stating the obvious, but there's clearly more to it than what meets the eye. I don't think this is a case of they were looking at like, wow, we need to let some people go. Should we let Zelina go? I mean, there's clearly something that's gone down. And what with her tweeting out about the unionization thing, it's like, I gotta tell you though, it's all bad PR, isn't it, for WWE? It really is not gonna look good on them at all. And it doesn't. None of this does. The whole independent contract thing. Like what Anna said earlier. Anna's point was excellent earlier about the independent contractors. You can't be an independent contractor and then be told that you can do this, you can do that, and whatever. They should do Barrett versus Balor. That feels better. I could see them getting him up to main event of NXT level quite easily. Yeah. I hope SmackDown will have an intro like Raw for future SmackDown stars, says Basti. C Wrestling says, what's the bet? Zelina created OnlyFans to prove a point and get fired? She would have been told not to Twitch anymore. Well, she didn't. Maybe. I mean, it's a very interesting theory. I mean, if she was frustrated because it was clear they had nothing for her, do you know what I mean? Like, she was with Andrade and everything, and, there was potential for them to get somewhere, but when she got split apart, put on her own, and just kind of thrown to the side, and maybe it became apparent there was nothing for her, then perhaps her focus switched. And then she created OnlyFans, and knowing that they wouldn't like it, don't know. She very much strikes me as someone that is not going to be staying quiet on this. So very much expect to see her on, like, maybe Jericho's podcast or something. That tends to be where the disgruntled ex-WWE employees go, is over onto Jericho's podcast. But I'm very sure that she'll be speaking out against them, which could get a little rocky for Aleister, but I'm pretty sure WWE won't hold it against him. I say that. They might do. Traditionally, though, when it comes to these things, the partner tends to do quite well out of it, as we said earlier. But anyway, that is in the... I didn't get there in time. Anyway, that is in the past. Ashante, shout out to you. Okay.
Ashanti Stevens is a legend. They donated $4.99 via a super chat. Roman vs. Kane, Roman vs. Cesaro, Roman vs. Nakamura. How about Beth Phoenix and Natalia vs. Nia and Shayna?
Roman versus Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez isn't under contract at the moment, but could have been interesting. Again, would have taken quite a bit of work, because I think there was a lot of people that maybe weren't familiar with Cain Velasquez. But yeah, had he stuck around, we could have got to an interesting point. So it's a good shout. Cesaro, he could have a match, but I don't see him getting that title. I don't see him getting a run with the belt. For whatever reason, Vince just doesn't see it. Roman Nakamura. Nakamura's really interesting, isn't he? Nakamura's really a main eventer for New Japan. And he was in a main event picture with AJ Styles as well. But again, I don't know if they feel that he's reached his limit. I don't know. There's just a lot of people you think they don't have main event confidence in. But I suppose they've got to go with someone, haven't they? Got to do something. Now the graphic says Randy or Drew versus Roman. Randy or Drew versus Roman. Because, of course, we will be getting Randy versus Drew this Monday on Raw for the championship. So, yeah, things could be changing. Okay, so Roman is making his way down. They're just talking about the fact that we've got that happening. Right, Roman very slowly making his way down to the ring. They did the same last week with the Bayley Sasha graphic, says Dave in real life. Honestly, 3 minutes and so far someone's just walked into a ring. That's where we are. Really taking his sweet time. Really taking his sweet, sweet time. Right, Roman in the ring. Tom Clark, shout out to you.
Tom Clark is a legend. They donated £2 via a super chat. Take the hat off for the lads.
She actually asked it that way as well. For the lads? With the question mark. She actually asked, or maybe that's how she says lads, I don't know. For the lads? Seemed like she was asking a question. No. Right, we got Roman. Paul Heyman just says a few words. Island of relevancy. Paul Heyman says you make everyone relevant. The analytics don't lie. He is a big deal, isn't he? He is a big deal. I wish he had a different looking belt. Roman says, look, he's now main event Jey Uso. He's putting him over. He says before you couldn't even tell them apart, but now his main event Jey Uso.
Tom Clark is a legend. They donated £2 via a super chat. How about take the hat off for the ladies? Winking face.
No. I'd be tempted for the elderly. But no, not for the guys, not for the ladies, certainly not for the kids. But for the old folk, for the elderly. Okay. You can respect the man's accomplishments. Ah, here comes McIntyre. Do you know what's funny? Roman was in the ring. Roman was in the ring then, and the music hit, and he just kind of like, he was a bit peeved at being interrupted. So it was like, and then he realised the music. There's a great moment there where he goes, and you can just see that there was that little, that was good. That was good. McIntyre here. He's got the Raw graphic. I mean, what I will say is what they've done with Drew this show has been good, because now him coming out, his music hitting, it feels like a big deal. Do you know what I mean? This feels like a decent... This is a better match. This is a better match. Drew, Roman been tearing it up, man. Been tearing it up. Would you take the hat off for the elderly folk? I would. I'm still not going to. Let's see what Drew's got to say. Drew says you're not going to be facing Randy. You're going to be facing me. I'm going to win that match.
Tom Clark is a legend. They donated £2 via a super chat. Take the hat off for all the elderly folk.
Even there, look. Does that mean she's recorded every word twice? Where she says folk and then folk? She must have recorded every word twice so that it sounds like a question. That's blown my mind. Does she say potato different? Potato? Anyway. Drew is cutting a promo at the moment. In the ring with Roman. You wouldn't know what happened post-WrestleMania? You left us high and dry. Someone had to step up. They're cutting a promo here. He's cutting a promo. They're giving him TV time. Is he really losing on Monday? You see being the top guy as a right. I see it as an honor.
Tom Clark is a legend. They donated £2 via a super chat. Potato. Might be the question mark, maybe?
I think she did say that. Might be the question mark, maybe. I think she... Potato? I think she rushed it. It's... Tom, you have opened up a whole world. You have opened my eyes this evening. Potato? Roman says he's back now. Potato? That was quicker than potato. I don't watch Raw. I don't watch Raw. No one does. They're all watching SmackDown. They're all watching SmackDown. They're all watching me. I love that from Roman. What a great line. I don't watch Raw. No one does. Can you tell us who is Drew McIntyre? This is lovely. I'm loving this. I'm eating this up. Keep giving me this. Keep giving me this. I'll tell you who Drew McIntyre is. I'm the guy that's going to beat Randy. I'm the guy that's going to head to Survivor Series. I'm the guy that's going to show you what a secondary champion really is. Whoa. This feels like a big deal, man. This feels like a big deal. Jey Uso. Jey Uso comes running down. Jey Uso says, I got this, Uso. Uso got this. Roman doesn't look very happy here.
Tom Clark is a legend. They donated £2 via a super chat. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I don't know if I've never heard her say it the other way. Expialidocious? Now I'm starting to wonder if I'm just hearing it. Hang on. Jey Uso's just said, one-on-one tonight. Jey Uso just challenged Drew to a match tonight, and Drew just went, well, and Jey just dropped the mic. He pushes Jey Uso down, and he steps to Roman. Yeah. You wouldn't spend this long on this if you were just going to turn around and do Randy Roman, would you? You wouldn't spend all this time if your main event is going to be, surely we're getting Drew Roman. Surely we're getting Drew Roman. It makes more sense. It makes more sense. The guy that, carried the company whilst Roman was away. And now Roman's coming back. I loved that. That's such a good open. It's such good. I love that line as well. I don't watch Raw. No one watches Raw. I watch Raw. I have to watch Raw. I have to watch Raw. Some of us have to. The final chapter, no holds barred, apparently, between Seth and Ray. Coming up, we've got Intercontinental Championship match as well. Sammy taking on Apollo. Wow. Great open, says Brony. It's a big open. It's a big open. Within that 10 minutes that they've just had, they have taken Survivor Series to a completely different level. Randy versus Roman wasn't doing it for me. Drew versus Roman does it for me. That becomes very, very interesting. Because even though the belts won't be on the line, this is about proving who is the guy. Roman took his ball and went home. And Drew had to hold down the fort. Now Roman's coming back acting like the big man. Well, hang on. Hang on a minute. Where were you for 6 months? Now, look, we all know that he's, do you know what I mean, had to be off because of health issues. And, well, I don't know. That's what the speculation was because of obviously his immune system and everything. But all of that to one side, it's a great story. It's a great story, and that interests me a lot more than Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. And then you've got a face and a heel, and it could be a really great match as well. It could be a big match for both of them. Big match. I mean, I don't think any of us thought Jey was going to beat Roman. So this would be a big test for Roman. Big test. You could argue his biggest since he's come back. And
Colby is a legend.
For Drew,
they donated $5 Canadian via a super chat. I really think Drew Roman could be the Rock Austin/Cena Orton of this generation. They have such good chemistry together.
You're not the only one to say that, Colby. I think, didn't Triple H say that? Triple H said that they could be the new Rock Austin of this generation. And that you want to tease it but hold off giving the fans the feud, basically. Because when it does actually happen, it's going to be one of the biggest things that they can do. And a lot of people scoffed at that. I have to scoff at it as well because I don't think that Drew has got the support that Rock or Austin had. Clearly, Roman is not as big as Austin, or The Rock, really, for that matter. I think that he's in a good place. The heel turn has been brilliant, but man, how can you compare this to the craziness of the Attitude Era? How can you compare this to the numbers that the Attitude Era has got? We just had our lowest viewed segment ever the other day on Raw. Raw got like a 1.4 million viewed third hour. Like, the lowest ever. Like, even those rubbish New Generation Raws in 95, where, for me, you know, it was not great. Even they were getting more viewers than what we're seeing at the moment. So, I think to compare this to that, doesn't sit well. But, I think it's certainly one of the biggest things you can do right now. Yes, with what we've got. Yes. Tom says, do I sound like... She hasn't read it, has she? Hang on, Roman's having a right go. Tom, I have no idea. She's fallen out with you. Roman says, no one told you to go out there and make a match for yourself. He's just had a right go. He's just had a right go at Jey Uso. I wonder if she won't read out some of the words that were in your comment. I wonder if that's what it was, Tom. We got Lashley against Sami Zayn and Apollo. Hang on, let's change this graphic over. I was informed at 7 p.m. tonight that I'd be having this match, says Sammy. He's not happy.
Tom Clark is a legend. They donated £2 via a super chat. I hate myself by myself, I mean voice lady.
Voice lady. Voice lady's having a breakdown. Okay, Sammy says this is sabotage. Someone's trying to sabotage the champion of the people. Do you think he's going to lose the belt now? The voice lady. Days, Leo Rush is going to be on a reality show called The Challenge, and it premieres on December 7th. Okay. Sammy says he's had to jump through more hoops than anyone. Right, here comes Apollo. Sammy ranting away, saying that he's had to prove that he's a champion even when he never lost the championship, and he's having to jump through hoops and all of this. Apollo's heard enough, and out he comes. Jonathan says, I really don't want to see Apollo and Bobby again. Yeah, I don't either. I mean, Bobby Sammy doesn't really excite me, but this doesn't excite me either. Challenge is a good show. Leo is going to suck, says Will. Sammy won't lose. I don't know why they're teasing all these other possibilities. I suppose it's because he could. I mean, there is a chance he loses tonight. This close to Survivor Series. Okay, we're starting with this IC title match. Apollo versus Sami Zayn. Wrestling Days fan says Apollo versus Bobby again. Please, no. Strikes in the corner. We are underway. Apollo against the ropes. Big chop by Sammy. Nice. Down goes Sammy. Jaden says, neither do we want to see Roman, Drew, or Seth against Ray. I think Roman, Drew would be better for me than Randy, Roman. And after that opener, I'm down for seeing it. I'm down for seeing it. They're talking about Undertaker's final farewell. And I don't know if you heard, but apparently they're going to bring a lot of his friends in for that. People like Savio Vega is coming in and the Godfather coming in. So not sure what they've got planned exactly, but it's going to be a lot of people. Big celebration. Standing moonsault by Apollo. Sammy against the ropes. Holds onto the ropes and rolls out of the ring. Sammy ripping the apron off. So the apron is exposed. Like the side of the ring is exposed. Into the edge of the ring goes Apollo. And now he's putting his foot in the actual metalwork of the ring. This is cool. He's trying to trap Apollo's leg in the actual ring. You can get it out, look. Apollo, you can easily get it out. He's been counted out. That doesn't make Apollo look great, does it? Apollo's lost by count out. He had his foot caught in the bit under the ring. But it looked like he could very easily get his foot out. Although saying that, he had no time. Did you see, like, as soon as Sammy got in, there was like a second later it was called? Well, there we go. Sammy has retained. Got the job done, didn't he? Got the job done. We're backstage with Adam Pearce and Drew. If you want to fight,
7-star is a legend.
Tonight.
They donated $5 via a super chat. Potato, tomato, inflato, brizango, amaretto, garbonzo, flamenco, mosquito.
It's amazing. She's read some proper words there. I thought she won't read. She won't read some of these. Is she going to say garbonzo? But she did. She even said brizango. It's not even a word. She must be a wrestling fan. Right, here's Ray. Here's Aaliyah. Oh, Angie! Angie's back! Yeah! Dom. Things have changed. The whole family's here, guys. Hello to Caleb. Tuck. Yeah, Tuck's here. She doesn't really do much with the Tucks anymore, does she? It's good to see her though. Tuck, Mama Tuck, Daddy Tuck, Brother Tuck. Seth calls himself a messiah. But to me, he's the devil. The devil and the man are having a baby. Okay, he says, tonight I'm going to send Seth Rollins back to that soul-crushing hell. Does he mean like back home with Becky? Because I don't know if it's that bad. I mean, she might have mood swings, but I can't imagine it's soul-crushing hell. Here's Sasha. She's got leopard print. Doing all this. Yeah. Ashante Stevens, shout out to you. Why can no one walk normal anymore? What's happened to the art of walking in a straight line? Undertaker used to do it so well, but I mean, even he was slow. There's Sasha doing a Undertaker pose.
Ashanti Stevens is a legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chat. Fiend to confront or attack Taker at SS.
Could go that way. Could go that way. I know a lot of people would like to see it. What is she here for? I don't even know why she's here. She's not in any wrestling attire. So, in the ring, she gets Sasha Banks promo. I'm guessing she's going to call out Carmella. I'm going to have something to say to Carmella. I don't know what the plan is for Bayley now either. So, some big questions that need to be answered. Some big questions that need to be answered. Sasha in the ring. And she is fine. The best wrestler is Ric Flair. Oh, we got an advert for Survivor Series. Just lots of images of The Undertaker. Sasha's got weird clothes. Chalmers says, I hope she plugs The Mandalorian. Does it need power then? Do you have to plug it in? I don't know. The best wrestler is Shawn Michaels, says Money Man. Murphy is now Friar Tuck. Rated R Wrestling says, NXT call-up alert. Do you think so? Surely Carmella. Because Carmella attacked her last week, didn't she? So I'm just expecting Carmella to come out. Lauren says, what is Sasha wearing? She is wearing a leopard print catsuit with bits that are like cut out. She looks good. She looks good. And more importantly, I think she's happy. Do you know what I mean? Thebin says, what do you think about this idea? Each week, a guy in the dome thought to be a fan who looks strange tease it for weeks and then he disappears with only a creepy background visible and then he debuts. Could be fun. Could be fun, I suppose. Be an interesting way to debut someone. Dave says it's called The Final Chapter because it's Friday 13th and that's the name of one of those movies. Irma says, what is the greatest soccer match that you've seen? I don't know, man. I mean, there's been some brilliant ones. That Liverpool one in the Champions League final where they were 3-0 down and came back and drew 3-3 and then ended up winning it in extra time. That was amazing. That was an incredible game. Obviously, Man U as well when they won the Champions League, losing with the final minute, and they end up getting 2 goals in a minute, and then they won it. There's been loads of really great games. SmackDown needs some more talent, says Captain Crunch. Sasha is going to make a Banks statement. Yes! Very good. Very good. Sasha is about to make a Sasha Banks statement. That is exactly what she's about to do. Excellent work. Well done. Excellent work. Well, we're just about to go back. We're only half an hour into the show so far. Brilliant opening promo. Sammy match was okay. But got high hopes for this Sasha statement. This Banks statement. We've got an unsanctioned match tonight as well. Drew McIntyre against Jey Uso. Unsanctioned match has been signed. Days, which one do you prefer? Randy or Drew versus Roman? Drew. Definitely Drew. Kyle says Sasha looks constipated. That won't make much sense, will it, to people? But, yeah. It's about who matters more. Randy has his 14th title. He doesn't need a lengthy reign. Drew has still yet to prove himself, and he has the Fiend on the horizon who doesn't need to be in the title picture. Lister Jericho says, like unsanctioned actually means anything. Yeah, it's true. I always find it that funny. This is unsanctioned. This has got nothing to do with us. We don't want any part of this. Like, you cannot blame us for what you're going to see. We are playing no part in this. But we are going to film it, and it is part of our show, and we will put it out on network television around the world. But other than that, nothing to do with us. It's weird, isn't it? It is weird. Unsanctioned match, didn't they used to happen, like, after the show had finished? And, like, do you know what I mean? There wouldn't be graphics, or I don't even know if there would be music. Literally, it was just like, our show's finished now. If you want to stick around and watch this, we're going to let them use our ring, but other than that, we're done. And of course, they'd still be big names, and it would all be booked by the company, but they would really make out it was nothing to do with them. But yeah, an unsanctioned match on SmackDown. I don't know if it works. Right. The haters said I could win, but I couldn't retain. There we go. Well, she did retain. She's standing there, showing off that SmackDown Women's Championship. All the highs and the lows that I've been through would be enough to end anyone, but not me. She's putting all the women on notice. Big smile on her face. And now she addresses Carmella. Bayley. Bayley's music. Here comes Bayley. It is interesting to see what they're going to do. There's Carmella. Carmella from behind. Super kicks Sasha. Carmella planting Sasha. Carmella getting involved in this. Now, Bayley surely can't be all right with letting Carmella take the title, can she? I mean, I suppose if she has to choose between Carmella having it or Sasha, she would probably right now rather Carmella had it, but I don't know. I don't even know where Bayley's gone. Where is Bayley? She's not around. Okay, it was a bit strange. I still need to know the dynamic there. I don't really get it. We got Otis backstage eating 3 meals. We got Bobby Roode, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. Okay, they're talking trash about Otis. Otis flips the table over. Okay, that was a bit rubbish as well. I don't understand those past couple of segments. Like, Sasha celebrating at the fact she retained the title makes perfect sense. But then I really want to know what the dynamic is with, you know, Bayley isn't surely going to go anywhere. She ain't going to just go, well, lost the belt. And disappear. I understand Carmella making a move, but Bayley can't like that. Bayley can't. I need to understand that dynamic. I wish it would make sense, or I wish they would make it make sense. And it can be explained. It can be explained. And then, like, I don't know what that was, where Dolph and Robert Roode were talking about Otis in front of Otis, and then he flips the table up and screams. I read that Tuck and Murphy's storyline is Stacey Colon and Conan did at Carlos Colon's company WWC, says Nelson. Okay. Gabriella says, I'm confused. Well, I understand. I mean, like, first of all, who cares what's happening with Otis and Dolph? So don't worry about that. Second of all, I understand Carmella being the next person. That makes sense. I just need them to tell me what's happening with Bayley. You know, is it going to be a triple threat? Is Bayley going to be in Carmella's corner? Is Carmella helping Bayley get the title? Maybe that would make more sense if Carmella was softening up Sasha so that Bayley could get the belt back. Maybe Carmella wants to be Bayley's friend again, Baymella. Do you know what I mean? You never needed her. We should have always just been the best of friends. Like, I feel like there's definitely a story that can be told. So, well, we'll see. We'll see. I knew Sasha Banks was going to address Carmella, says LD. Cool. Lauren says, is it just a normal match that can't be sanctioned because they're on different brands? Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I like matches not held on AEW. They are usually better if they're not aired on AEW. Days Carmella is not beating Sasha for the title, so all the build-up for the mystery woman won't mean anything unless Bayley helps Carmella win it from Sasha. I think what would be good is if there was a way that, say, Sasha gives Bayley one more match, and the stipulation is if you lose it, you'll never get another shot at the title whilst I'm champion. We've got to get Bayley out of the way. So, like, if this is your one shot, if you lose this match, you are done. You are not getting another shot at this whilst I'm champion. Bayley loses. So all of a sudden now, she hates Sasha. She can't win the belt. Of course, she would then naturally help Carmella. That makes sense then. All of a sudden, that makes sense. So, I'm sure they'll make it work. I'm sure they'll make it work, but there's more work to be done there. Tribute to the Troops, Sunday, December 6th. A Tribute to the Troops special? Okay. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? A Tribute to the Troops special. And it's going to be on Fox. That's good. Okay, down for that. Hopefully that'll be on BT Sport and we can do a watch along for that. Tribute to the Troops. That's good. I feel like they should do more of those specials. Okay, Dolph Ziggler is coming out. So is this going to be Dolph against Otis? Again. Ziggler versus... I'm going to guess Otis. Right. Ziggler making his way down. He's got a Smackdown hat on. And here comes Otis. Daydreamer Pictures says...
Daydreamer Pictures is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat. It's the Wheel of Fun. Everybody loves the Wheel of Fun. What was that? Is that the wheel? It's the Wheel of Fun. Bad-um-bum.
Shout out to you, dude. Right, Otis climbing up, getting into the ring. So it is Otis against Ziggle Wiggle. Guy in the background with a Fiend mask on. Maybe you guys do. I never look at the screens. I never ever look at the Thunderdome screens. Slapped by Dolph Ziggler. Drives Ziggler into the corner. Imagine we get Ric Flair like farewell, and instead of Fiend, we get a Funhouse Bray who comes to pay respect, and then the demeanor becomes angry and says he wants you for one last match. Yeah, might happen. People will freak. If that happens, people will freak. If there's any kind of showdown between Bray and Taker, people are going to lose their minds. Ziggler down. Otis, big strike to Rude. Rude goes down. Ziggler from behind. Zigzag by Dolph. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by Otis. Otis getting that shoulder up. Ziggler back in the corner, looking for a super kick. Oh, goes for it. Otis slams down Dolph. Oh, yeah! Caterpillar. Elbow drop. Oh, yeah! Rude back up again. He stops Otis from hitting the splash, but he does hit it, and Otis wins. So that's a thing that happened. Oh yeah! Days Tucker Murphy should change their child as I Mysterio. Oh, should name their child I Mysterio in honor of Ray's popped out eye. Oh yeah! We got Dolph on the outside, Rude on the outside. That was a bit rubbish. We're back. Here we go. Look, we've got, and he's wearing a Disciple shirt as well. So Murphy in a Disciple shirt, giving all this. So he's back with Seth again, and Seth certainly looks like he is falling for this trap. Monday, we got 2 championship matches as well. Big Raw on Monday. Of course, the go-home shows and the whole landscape of Survivor Series could change. I think you've got to look at it and say it looks likely that it will. Will the Hurt Business beat New Day? There can't be 2 title changes, can there? Can there? Live Monday, we're going to find out. We are going to find out. Crazy to see that Dolph is just a jobber now, says Brony. Birrett, yeah. I remember. Kathy says, first time watching wrestling. Shout out to you, Kathy. Shout out to you. There's it's not a bad time to watch, actually, because obviously we're well on the road towards the Royal Rumble, which is in not that long, you know. It's about, what, 8 weeks? Something like that. And then that marks the start of WrestleMania season. So you can get used to everyone right now. And then you'll be ready for WrestleMania season. So, yeah, this show's all right. It's all right. I think the open to the show is brilliant. But I don't think really anything that's followed has kind of matched that same level or even got close, in honesty. A couple of things that obviously still got some questions about, like what's happening with Carmella and Sasha and Bayley. But there's some good stuff still to come. We got the unsanctioned match still to come. We've obviously got Seth Murphy. We got the match against Ray. So some good stuff on the way. Peyton Fitz, shout out to you. Universal Big Dog says Dominic versus Rollins in the cage match or SummerSlam match should have stopped the feud. Unlike most, I find Aaliyah and Murphy interesting, says Universal Big Dog. Days, I think Randy will beat Drew because of the tweets that Randy and Roman had when Roman came back. Good point. They could definitely work that into the storyline. Dave in real life says, did you hear about WWE planning to push back Mania? I did. I think they're only looking to push it back a couple of weeks. I mean, it's nothing drastic. I think the original plan was like the very end of March, and now it's like middle of April. And I think they're doing that because they're trying to give themselves the best opportunity possible to have as big a crowd as possible. Like they want thousands of people there. And obviously we still don't have a clear picture in regards to the pandemic. Ringside reported that Seth will be written off after Survivor Series, but the Mysterio program is going to continue without him till he's back due to its strong ratings. Interesting. Okay, right. Well, we are going back anyway. We are going back. We've got AC/DC, Shot in the Dark from their new album, Power Up. That is the official theme of Survivor Series. Okay, and we got Otis. Oh, hello. Chad Gable. Chad Gable, and his top says Gable. Just so you know. You need some discipline. You need a mentor. Look at this. Alpha Academy. You want to train? So are they putting them together? Alpha Academy. Oh, it looks like a trap. Look at that look. Look at that dirty look. That was dirty. Right, well, don't trust him. Does that mean we're building towards an Otis Chad Gable feud? Don't know how I feel about that. My gut reaction is, oh no! It's not Shorty G. Jim says the rumor has it that the Rascals are heading to WWE. The Little Rascals! No way. I love that film. I think it's a Disney film, isn't it? The Little Rascals. And remember the guy that's got the hair that flips up at the front? What was his name? Eugene. Is that his name? Alfalfa. Well, I don't even know where that word has come from. I think I've got it from Alpha Academy just. I don't know his name. The Little Rascals are coming. That is amazing. Chad Gable becoming the new Simon Dean character. LSW says, I'm down for an Otis Gable angle. Austin said, we never got Shorty G versus Big E. It's like a bad English lesson, isn't it, from primary school? Was it Alfalfa? Is that his actual name, Alfalfa? Where have I pulled that from? I saw that film as a kid, and I have not watched it since. And if I've remembered his name correctly, that has blown my mind. I'll tell you something else that's blown my mind. Are we honestly saying Alfalfa's coming to the WWE? Bucket. I'm down for watching Alfalfa against the Tribal Chief. Could have had Shorty G and Fatty-O. Fatty-O? They make sure you're not fatty. Fatty-O versus Booty-O. Days, it doesn't matter who Roman feuds with, face or heel, because I'm always going to cheer for Roman, says Brony FN. I want the Riot Squad, says Brian. Saw it before you retracted it. Did you change your mind? Alfalfa is in jail now. No! What are you on about? Is he really in jail? For what? Oh, do I want to know? Oh, I've got to look at this, haven't I? I understand that this has got very limited appeal, but I would say these streams have got very limited appeal. So, yeah, Little Rascals is a 1994 film. 1994 was when I saw it. I think I went to the cinema to see that film, you know? I'm sure I saw that in the cinema when I was just a young 21-year-old. Alfalfa, yeah? Who played Alfalfa? Come on. Alfalfa's father. It is Alfalfa as well, which is amazing. Alfalfa. I mean, you're not missing anything. It's just video packages. This is amazing. I need to... Little Rascals. Alfalfa. Little Rascals. Alfalfa. Yeah, but who played it? Bug. His name's Bug? His real name is Bug? Bug Hall? And I don't think he's in prison because he tweeted 7 hours ago. And do you know what he tweeted? Tell the truth, but start with yourself. He just tweeted that. Alfalfa tweeted that 7 hours ago. Tell the truth, but start with yourself. Self-cancelled rascal. That's deep, isn't it? Only got 39 likes. Alfalfa tweeted out 7 hours ago. Tell the truth and start with yourself. And it only got 39 likes. That's a disgrace. That's a flipping disgrace. I'm going to retweet it. I'm retweeting it now. There we go. I've retweeted it. Tell the truth, but start with yourself. I've retweeted that on the Wrestling Days account. Bug Hall. Actual Alfalfa. Who said he was in prison? Don't think they give tweeting responsibilities in prison. Has he been in prison? Let's have a look. Maybe he's still a wrong gun. Well, we have gone down a road here, haven't we? We have definitely gone down a road. Has he ever been in prison? I don't think so. Oh, no, yeah, what's this? Oh, my God. Hall was arrested on June 20th of this year under suspicion of ingesting volatile chemicals. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Volatile chemicals? What does that mean? If it's drugs, wouldn't they just say drugs? Volatile chemicals? He was booked into Parker County Jail. On October 28th, he uploaded an hour-long video, well, I'm watching that tonight, on his YouTube channel, which spoke about his arrest. Well, there we go. There we go. Wild. We do go on some little journeys, don't we? We definitely do go on some little journeys. In many ways, we're the little rascals. Aren't we? We're the little rascals. We go on our own little rascal journeys. Is the show all right? How's the show going? Can I just say, right, people are watching this going, I don't tune in for Little Rascals news. I would go to Little Rascals days if I wanted that. Thank you. I've already had all my Little Rascals updates for the day. I do not come here expecting more Little Rascals news. I would understand that. I would understand if you're feeling that way and thinking that way. The only thing I would say is there was nothing happening. They just showed a video package of the history between Ray and Seth, and it took up pretty much that whole segment, right? Because he had his eye poked out, right? And then they just slowly came down to the ring. When we go back, there will be a match, but you haven't missed anything. I would hate for people to think that I'm giving Little Rascals updates at the expense, at the sheer expense of bringing you actual cutting, breaking wrestling news. That is not what's happening. That is not what's happening. But shout out to the Little Rascals. So, there we go. There's a little journey that we went on. Brother Nero says, Days, Undertaker starts his retirement speech But before he can say, I retire, the lights go off and Alexa appears. She does a curtsy. Is the curtsy critical? Is it a critical curtsy? She does a curtsy and says that he challenges Undertaker to one last match at WrestleMania 37. And I would love it at that point if Undertaker laughed and went, yeah, nah, I'm all right. Oh, that would be the best. That would be the best. Nah. Thank you, though. I'm all right. Days, I wish you could help WWE gaming and fans. Shout out to you. I am helping you. And I'm glad that you can see that I'm helping you, because where else would you get little rascals information like what I am able to provide? Alexa shouldn't be talking for the Fiend, says Austin316. Funhouse Bray or Fiend should challenge Undertaker. How Joy and Little Rascals are awesome, said Cat. Little Rascals are awesome, yes. This has now officially turned into a Little Rascals Appreciation Society. The Alfalfa Clan. That's what we're going to be known as. 7 Star says, Taker says, sorry, I don't watch Raw. Yes! That would be brilliant. I'd love it if all these people started coming out saying, I don't watch Raw. The thing is, as well, when they say it, you do believe them. I believe them. Right, we've got Rey Mysterio in there with Seth Rollins. We are getting towards the end of the first hour, and we will be doing our halftime scores. So start thinking about your halftime score. Start percolating your halftime score, if that's a thing. Whilst we're enjoying this, we've got Dominic, we've got Tuck, we've got Mama Tuck on the outside as well. In the ring, we've got Rey in grey, and he's wearing his hazard boots, and he's wearing his hazard gloves as well. The kind of thing that you would probably wear if you was working at night. Maybe like you're doing some road repairs at night and you need to be seen. Then you would wear those hazard boots and those hazard gloves. So, yeah, he's in his grey hazard attire. Nice stunner there by Seth. And going under the ring. This, I believe, is no DQ, isn't it? There's the final match, isn't it, between these two? Basement dropkick by Rey. Against the ropes goes Rey, and Seth rolls out the ring, pops back up. Nice shoulder to the midsection. Big right hand by Rey. Rey grabbing Seth, hurling him into the corner. Rey bouncing up onto the shoulder of Seth. Rey. Oh, DDT right on the edge of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Look at the smile on Tuck's face. She is loving it. She is loving it. Febin says, in the end, Dominic takes Murphy out, or both are out, and Rey's about to win. And Aaliyah low blows Rey. Do you think so? You think Aaliyah? You think Tuck is going to turn on her dad? No, she can't. Right, Seth down outside the ring. Murphy still with Seth. I mean, this is obviously a trap for Seth. It's got to be. I'd love for there to be a twist, but into the ring steps goes Rey. What is Murphy going to do? What is Murphy going to do? That's the big question. Rey throwing in some big strikes. Into the barricade goes Seth. I think there's a guy on the Thunderdome screen that's got a white winged eagle. championship over his shoulder. At first, I thought it was the women's tag belt. I was like, why has he got the women's tag belt? It's like, that is one cool, dude. Imagine going on the Thunderdome, sitting there with just one of the women's tag titles. Just like, yeah. I bought this belt, so what? But actually, on closer inspection, I think it's the white strapped winged eagle. Which is still very cool. But if he was sitting there with a women's tag belt, he'd be a don. Big suplex onto the announce table. Why is Tuck smiling? Look at that. Ray's mask has kind of flipped round to the side. He's having to, like, correct it. Get it back into position, but we've got a real close-up of Ray's face here. We can see the pain that's painted all over it. Boom, on top of that announce table. Do you know, it's something you don't think about, but you've got to be so careful about what you put on that announce table. Because at any point, someone could put someone through it. Couldn't you? I wonder if they're allowed to have bottles and things like that. Because if you get slammed on top of a bottle, there's not going to be any, like... I bet you've got to be real careful. Into the barricade goes Ray. There's quite a few belts. There's the guy. Tuck looks happy he got thrown into the table. Does. She does. I'm starting to think there could be something in this. I'm starting to think she might be a wrong un. And you know what's going to hurt more than Tuck turning on her dad? Is the fact that Ray has got her name tattooed there. And it's going to be so hard to get that removed. You'd probably have to cover it. But even covering it will be tricky. So... there's going to be a big fallout if she does turn. Seth has got Ray. Backbreaker. Tuck looks like she was enjoying it. Yeah, we've still got Ziggurat or something. Let's change this over. We are past the halfway point as well. Rollins versus Mysterio. Days, put your Ray mask on. I don't even know where it is, actually. Legit, I don't know where it is. I have got a Ray mask that I got from Mexico. 100% fake. Seth looking for the pin. Ray kicks out. And he's grabbing a chair, Seth. Have you attended a live show? I've been at a live show, Marcus, yeah. Seth's got a chair in the corner. Angie looks concerned. Big strikes coming in by Seth. Strikes to the side of the body. Rey Mysterio. Doubled over in pain as Seth scoops up Rey. Don't forget, this is their final match. The final farewell. The blow-off. That's what it's been advertised as. Back elbow by Seth. Into the corner goes Rey. Seth colliding into the corner, goes down. Rey seated senton, gets the rope, stuck underneath. Nice head scissor takedown. Fast pace there. Against the ropes goes Rey again, up. Looking for a bulldog, hits it. Hits it. Drew Roman is a good match, says Wrestling Days fan. I don't think Seth has lost clean one-on-one since Money in the Bank, says Brother Nero. Days, the original Air Gang, Little Rascals, have been around since the early 1930s. The original Alfalfa was born in 1927. His name was Carl Switzer. Arrested for cutting down trees. Died from a gunshot. What? Got arrested for cutting down trees? That's wild. All the things. What did you do? I ran a gang that used to sell drugs. What did you do? Oh, I did armed burglary. What did you do? I cut down a tree. Sorry, what? Oh, steps right in the face of Ray. Ray is down. Drew is going to get screwed tonight. Seth grabbing some more steps. Is this where Murphy's going to get involved? Where is Murphy? He's round the side. Ray is down in the entranceway. He's just been smashed with some ring steps. The end is coming, Ray. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. Stay back. Yeah, Dominic's like, stay back. Goes for a curb on the steps. Ray moves out the way. Kick to the leg by Ray. Oh, face first. Into the steps. Goes Seth Rollins. Yeah. Bye-bye-bye. We just had that. NSYNC. Double axe handle to the midsection. Gets the ropes. Goes Ray underneath the bottom rope. Splash onto Seth. Woo. That's nice. Oh, she likes that. She likes that. Right, get your scores in. Get your scores in. Halftime scores. Dave in real life says, advice, guys. Big advice. If you get asked to play the part of Alfalfa in a movie, turn it down, because you will get arrested. Yeah, and you'll get arrested under for really weird things, for cutting down a tree or ingesting volatile chemicals. Like, I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? If it was like armed robbery or something, I would understand. 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7, 6.5, 6.5, 7.75, 7, 7, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 4, 6, 5, 7, 7, 7, 7, 6, 2, 5, 7.5, 6, 9, 9.5, 7, 1, 5, 7.5, 5, 7, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, 7, 8.25, 7.5, 7, 9, 7, 8, 7.5, 6.19, 7.10, 7, 7, 7, 2, 5, scenes. Who won, says Marty McFly. It's still going. 7 says Wrestling Days fan. 5.75 spankies. I don't know what that means. BBYPSI says 5.75. Not a very good show so far. Sean Reset says 8. 10 out of 10. Says the gamer, this match is fire. Kathy gives it a 7. Moldy Spoon with a 7.25. Suffocating Stars fan with an 8.17. Adam with a 6.4. Brendan with a 9.25. BBYPSI, as we said, 5.75. Brandon, 9.25. Nice couch.
Glasgow Geek 1985 is a legend. They donated £5 via a super chat. Come on, Murphy, prove yourself to the Mysterios.
She struggled. The who? The Moose Stereo. The what? The what? What did you just say, voiceover woman? Prove yourself to the Moose Stereos. The Moose Stereos. Imagine if you had 2 moose. Not just mono, stereo. Moose stereo. That's the best kind of stereo, man. That is the best kind of stereo. When you're like, yeah. And it's a moose. You're just carrying around a moose. Maybe a moose learns to sing songs. And you can just walk around with a moose that's just like singing WAP or something. I don't know. But moose stereo? I'm sure she said moose stereo. It's what I heard. It's what I've chosen to hear. Amazing. I love that woman. We've learnt a lot about her tonight. She might have recorded every word twice, whereby she sounds like she's asking a question. And now she can say things like breezango, and she can come out with all these long words. But you put in a legend like Mysterio, and she goes, Mysterio. She can't cope. Perhaps she's siding with Seth. Perhaps she's a disciple, and she won't acknowledge the Mysterios. Who wouldn't she acknowledge earlier? There was someone else, a woman, some woman. She wouldn't acknowledge a woman earlier, would she? I can't remember what woman. Mysterios. She might say Mysterio now, Colby, that you've put that. Three Amigos being hit by Seth. And table set up in the ring. She might be a bit upset. That's why she's not being quick to read these out. Back in the corner is Seth. Seth reverses. Oh,
Wacky Niribi is a legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chat. Days will you do a New Year's stream?
Yeah, I think so. I can't see why not, because I ain't going anywhere. And I think did we do one? Did we do one last New Year? We must have. We must have. I can't imagine I was sitting here not streaming. I'd have to check. But yeah, I'm sure we will. Why can't I remember that? What was something on? I don't know what it was. I must have been streaming. I must have.
Colby is a legend.
Here we go, Colby.
They donated $2 Canadian via a super chat. Mysterious.
Mysterious. That's how she pronounces Mysterio. Silly woman. Right, Seth is up top in the corner. And headbutt by Ray. And he's... they do kind of fall down a little bit. Seth's trying to climb back up because he wants to powerbomb Ray through the table. He does pick up Ray. And he is. There we go. Powerbomb through a table. Angie looks sad. 1, 2. Kick out by Ray. Kick out by Ray. Powerbomb through the table, off the top, and Ray kicks out. What matches have been done so far? Some rubbish ones. Nothing that great. We had Sammy Apollo, but Sammy easily retained via count out. The table's being removed out of the ring. They're giving this match some time, aren't they? Which is fine. It deserves it. I wish that it was our main event and it had been built up, you know, and we knew coming into it. He's trying to expose the bottom of the chair. Take the eye! Take the eye! Take the eye! He's gonna go for the other eye! Yeah! And Ray's blocking it. Dominic interfering. Super kick. Dominic goes down. Murphy coming round. Murphy's come round. Well, I don't know what your plan was, Murphy, but it sucks so far. Like, whatever your plan is, this sucks. Murphy standing, staring. There's a real moment there between Tuck and Murphy. Staring at each other, longing for each other. Murphy, watch him. Staring at Seth. Murphy jumping in. He's going over to Seth. He's helping Seth up to his feet. He's putting Seth back into the corner. And he gives him the chair. Well, he's standing there with the chair. He gives him the chair. And there we go. And he goes over and he grabs Ray. Oh, no, it's still got the exposed knee strike by Murphy. Murphy with a knee strike. The savior. I mean, was it worth it for this, honestly? I trusted you! Yeah, well, you shouldn't have, because we could all see it a mile away. If you'd watched last week's show, you idiot. I trusted you! Against the ropes. Boyaka. 619. Mysterio going up top. Yes. Frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Rey Mysterio wins. Everyone's happy. So are the Mysterios going to accept him now? Because I don't get what he's done. Do you know what I mean? I don't get it. He was good. So now he's pretended to be bad. Just so that he can turn good again. Nothing's changed. There we go. Seth is outside the ring. Murphy on the edge of the ring. Don't welcome him now. Nothing's changed. If Ray's going to go over and take my daughter. Here's my daughter. Take my daughter. It's going to be weird. He'd already left Seth. This isn't like a big moment. He'd left Seth. And then only last week he said, okay, I'll come back. To turn on him this week. And that's enough. That's all it took. Okay, well, I'm keeping an eye on this. Right now, Ray is with his family. She's going over. Yes, good. He stopped it. Yeah, nothing's changed. Stop being an idiot, Tuck. Oh, now Ray's going over. Is this the bit where he's going to be like, take my daughter? Step into the ring. Come and face me like a man. Murphy steps in. What's he saying? He's saying something. I thought he said, have you got Google? He is putting his hand out. Ah, ridiculous. Ridiculous. She goes running over. Welcome to the family, Murphy Mysterio. Yeah, now Dominic's like, welcome, mate, welcome. Brilliant. It's great to have you on board. Oh, and a hug from Mom as well. Ah! Oh, my God. He's been accepted. He wasn't accepted when he turned face before. All it took was for him to pretend to be bad for a week. And now, brilliant. Everything's fine. Everything's roses. Universal Big Dog says, yes, Chance. Yes, 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 yes. Oh. Whoever wrote that should be instantly fired. If I was Vince and someone brought me that storyline. Okay, so they're not going to accept him. So he pretends to turn heel for, it says a week here. Are you sure you don't mean a year? You mean a week? Okay, a week. He turns heel for a week. And then beats up Seth, something he could have done anyway, yeah. And then the family accept him. Okay. Okay, yeah, you're fired. You're definitely fired. This is horrific. So, please go and work for AEW. Because we do not require your services around here. Well, look, it's a thing that's happened. Let's all move on. Tuck was happy. Tuck was happy, so. We got a frustrated Natalia backstage. Oh, Chelsea Green! Chelsea Green in blue. Why doesn't she? I just don't get it. Why doesn't she wear green? Chelsea Green backstage. They brought up Chelsea. Woo! Chelsea Green. She was big rumors that she was going to be in Retribution, but maybe she was, and then they told her what her name was going to be, and she was like, "No, thank you. I'm fine, thank you." Your name's Chelsea Green. Green like grass. So we're gonna call you Lawnmower. I'll sit this one out. Thanks. Can I just go to SmackDown? Well, anyway, she's here. Lewis says, the story was awful. I'm glad it's over. Should I care that she's here? Not really. It's just someone that we haven't seen. So, I mean, I'm over it now. I'm over it now. I was never a big Chelsea Green fan anyway, but brings something, doesn't it? J14 says Tucker's got another boyfriend in real life. Oh my god. What? What do you mean? Can't believe it. Does Murphy know? Chelsea has to work so that Zach can buy more figures, says Brad G. Chelsea Green was going to be tough, yes. Tough. Didn't she get caught up before the pandemic on Raw, where she aced Charlotte and then went back to NXT? I don't think that was a call-up. I think that just used her as like a jobber, didn't they? Didn't they just use? I mean, like we've seen Santana Garrett used in that role as well. So, but I don't think it was a call-up where she was like being used on a regular basis. We did stream on New Year's. Okay, very cool. Satan Green. Chelseatine. Oh, Chelseatine. Chelseatine Green. If Natalia calls herself the Boat again, I will quit being a wrestling fan, says Brother Nero. Can you believe we've only got 38 minutes left? I mean, say what you want about this show, but it has gone very quick. It has gone very quick. So here we are, look, staring down the barrel of the final half an hour. Big shout out as well. Big thank you. I know I mention it, but they do go up all the time. Big thank you to everyone that's been watching those old Raw reviews. As we said, they're 6 minutes long, and we try to make them as fun as possible. Yeah, the comments, the feedback that's been coming back has been really positive. So another one will drop on Sunday, and there's some specials that are coming as well. We will just slightly venture from Raw for a couple of them, but we are still chipping away at the old Raws. But yeah, check them out if you've not seen them. I think people would enjoy them if you've not checked them out. So another one, we've got UFC tomorrow, another one of those on Sunday, and talking smack with the Mysterio family, and of course Murphy as well, because he's part of them. We've got Otis and we've got Sasha. All on Talking Smack. Oh, we've Adam Pearce, look. We have got a very angry Seth. Look at this. It's not about Ray. I'm done with Ray. This is about Murphy. He is so angry. I created him and he betrayed me. I demand. That was a good promo. Very, very passionate. Right, another triple threat. Here we go. Liv Morgan, Natalya, and Tamina. Who's going to get added here? Can't be Tamina. It hasn't been Natalya, so I'm guessing Liv Morgan's going to get added. Oh? Oh? Fatal 4-way! Here comes the winner. Chelsea Green. There we go. Chelsea Green is making her way down. this entrance? I mean, her entrance is very generic. Green will win. Yeah, I think Green will win this. I don't know why you would put her in to have a lose. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a Chelsea Green. I mean, honestly, what is Chelsea Green going to bring that, say, Peyton Royce won't? She does look similar. Tall, athletic, kind of slim. Liv gets slammed down. Tamina should win and then face Nia Jax. Missile drop kick by Liv. Tamina outside the ring with Chelsea Green and Natalya. Tamina goes into the barricade. Big forearm strike by Chelsea. Drop kick by Liv Morgan. Chelsea goes down. Liv driven into the edge of the ring. Vega got released. Vega did, yes. Days Ruby is on the team. Yeah. I don't think that means that Liv's got to be on it. I don't even know what's happening with the Riot Squad. Haven't heard anything from them. DDT by Liv. Shoulder up by Natalya. Let's go Tamina, says Eric. Natalya will probably not be in the Survivor Series team. Well, what I will say is this is interesting. I'm interested in this match. Seeing who's going to join the team. My money would be on Chelsea. Natalya stepping through. Kick coming in by Liv. Natalya goes down. Rey Mysterio won because of Murphy. The family forgive Murphy. John says they should have made a promo highlight reel of Chelsea for those of us who don't know who she is or why we're supposed to care. That's true. It is true. Or at least just give us some kind of interesting gimmick. I mean, she's come down looking like Peyton Royce. Like, her entrance was very generic. She just seems to be another person. Nice takedown. Natalya looking for the sharpshooter. Couldn't get it. Where has they gone anyway? Where is Chelsea Green gone? Tamina got thrown into the barricade and she's been gone for like 5 minutes. I don't even know where Chelsea went. I think she got knocked to the outside, but... 1, 2. Shoulder up again by Natalya. Green had better not win, says Jonathan. Here's Tamina. Tamina's got back into the ring now. He murdered a tree, so he got arrested for treason. Oh, Liv's done it. Liv's won. Where did Chelsea Green go? Surprised. They dropped Chelsea Green into the match, and then she goes missing. Natalya upset. I don't get that at all. I don't get that. We've been waiting for, like, Chelsea Green. She got called up around, or she went missing from NXT around the same time as Retribution. And then they finally bring her in, put her into this match. She does nothing. She didn't do anything. They clearly can't, well, I don't know. I was going to say, clearly they can't have big plans for Chelsea Green. Right, Kayla backstage with Drew. Drew is going to have an unsanctioned match taking on Jey Uso. I think Chelsea is replacing Zelina Vega. That's interesting. That's interesting. So Zelina's gone and that's it. Here's Chelsea Green. Yeah, you could be right. Perhaps you could be right. Perhaps it was a case that they didn't have anything planned. They just needed someone to replace her. Brian says Days the Riot Squad is still together. Okay. 7 Star says the plan was become invisible. She nailed it. Yeah. Yeah. Like, what's the plan was to get added to the match, but then act like you weren't added to the match. And she did a very, very good job. She is absolutely one of the best. Absolutely one of the best. It's YouTube at it again. Oh, what is there? Yeah, I can see people saying lag, but I haven't got any. I ain't got no ish. The little light in the bottom corner says green, so I can only imagine that it is a YouTube thing. YouTube doing YouTube things. Shout out to Chelsea fan. Shout out to you. Tyler says, go her business. Poke Galaxy, yeah. I think Chelsea's retribution name would be Disappearance, says Liam Clark. Dax, shout out to you. Days Liv had her Na theme back. Are the Riot Squad broken up? I've not heard that they have been broken up, but I just haven't seen them together for a while. And obviously, they've been in these qualifying matches. And they've both qualified. So, I don't know. To be honest, I don't think they've got any plans for them. I don't think they've got any plans. So, they're just in this Survivor Series team. But I suppose you can't have plans for everyone, can you? I suppose that's the thing. You can't have plans for Chelsea Green. You can't use Chelsea Green because if you use Chelsea Green... You know, if Chelsea Green had won that match, people would be upset that Liv didn't. So, and obviously people will be upset that Natalya still isn't because she's a big name. More wins than any other female in the history of WWE. I love that fact. That is an incredible fact. That is a great record. I wish we had that data. I wish we knew that kind of stuff. I'd love to know who's got the most wins for the guys. Who's got the most wins in WWE history? I wonder who that is. Might be someone that you don't think. It might be like a workhorse. Someone, do you know what I mean? Like someone really weird that has been around for a long time. Something like Kofi. Could be something, could be. You need someone that's been around for a long time. Undertaker. Been around a long time, isn't he? But did he work that many shows? I don't know. I'd be interested to know. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever know, but I do love the fact that Natalya knows. Did you know the ring apron is the hardest part of the ring? Yeah. The edge of the ring. Why are they showing us Hell in a Cell? Is there some kind of behind the scenes thing? The day of. So it is the day of Hell in a Cell documentary dropping. Right, we got Big E backstage. Here's Street Profits. I hope you see Billy Kay again. What is on his attire? Street Profits said, last week we crossed the line. What's on his ring attire? Is it political? It feels political. We've got chocolate cake. Okay. We're going to serve some L's. What is it anyway? I can see chocolate cake. They've got food in the shape of an L, and they said that we're going to serve the New Day at some L's. The best you'll ever be will be knockoff New Day, value New Day, New Day Light. Big E laughing at, where's Billy Kay? We need Billy Kay. Big E walking away, laughing his head off, and the Street Profits aren't happy. No Billy Kay. Right, we're going to McIntyre. We've got just over 20 minutes left of the show. Double L's. What were they? The one was chocolate cake. The other, was it marshmallows? The other one looked like cannabis. I don't know what it was. Right, Drew. Is this our main event? Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. New Daylight or New Daylight? New Daylight, Rotem. That's good. New Daylight. New Daylight. I like that. Very clever. Right, we've got Randy in the ring. Okay, so unsanctioned match. WWE will not be held responsible for whatever happens in that ring. Drew won Hell in a Cell. Cheesecake would be good. The third L was the smoke. Was it cannabis? Was it really? If it was, that's blown my mind. Why would you put that on a show? There's no need to. Maybe it was just tobacco. Perhaps it was just tobacco. And I'm sitting here thinking it's cannabis. OMG, put this New Day nonsense in the trash for Big E already. Right, Jey Uso stepping into the ring. Why does everyone's intro need a sound effect? Seems like Vince is trying a bit hard to replicate the Austin glass. It's a fair comment. Drew will win, says Zed the Gamer. I would think so as well. The big dog Roman Reigns. Yeah, he's cool. Days, it was collard greens, says Sean Reset. Let's go Oos, says Basti. Monica King says the sexy Scotsman. Maybe the cannabis is there to lure Kenny away from AEW and onto WWE. Jay the little dog. Yeah, Jay the pup. Jay the pup. And Roman the big dog. Do you think Jay's like the tribal chef? Jay is the tribal chef and Roman is the tribal chief. It's very close, very similar in spelling, and they both would work. But yeah, the tribal chef. The fan with his face painted like something out of the Dead Presidents. Yeah, I don't know what was on Big E's attire. I felt like one of them looked like a bomber. I didn't know if it was all the presidents or something, like on his jacket, and maybe it was like something to do with the election. I don't know. Be a bit risky, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? Last thing we need is starting up conversations about the election. So I don't know if that was I don't know. Drew will kick Jay's head off. We are 18 minutes away. 18 minutes away. We are at commercial break. And I think this is our main event. The tribal walrus has got to be fed. Yes. Is that his official position? The tribal walrus. BBYPSI says John has got the most wins. 1731 out of 2180 matches. Where did you get that from? Undertaker is at 2. Kane is at 3. Kane is at 3. That's what I mean about someone you wouldn't expect. I wouldn't expect Kane at 3. Tito Santana at 9. Is this true? Where did you get this information from? Like, a lot of them I expect. Cena having the most. Okay, makes sense. Undertaker would have been my guess. Kane at 3, no way. Brett and Shawn. And apparently Brett's got more wins than Shawn. How? How? Brett left in 97? I mean, I know Shawn wasn't really around much. I mean, after that, but like, he got injured, didn't he? And he was gone by 98, but he came back 4 years later. Big Show might be a surprising name. Is this official? I'm reading this out like it's legit, because I feel I trust you. So John Cena's got 1,007. I mean, that is crazy, isn't it? John Cena has had 2,180 matches, and he's won 1,731 of them. Undertaker at 2. I love that. If that's true, I love it. Kofi at 8. Kofi at 8. I think I mentioned Kofi. I was like, it might be someone weird like Kofi. And Kofi's in the top 10. Tito Santana blows my mind. Hogan only at 10. Hang on. I've been asking a lot of questions. Maybe I should try and find an answer. BBY, PSI, where did you find it? Where did you find it? Let me know. Let me know where you found it. Because I love that fact. Hulk at 10, yeah? Seth Murphy next week. Yeah, we are back from commercials. And we are underway with Jey Uso against Drew McIntyre. Big strike by Jey. This is how they're getting around the wild card thing, isn't it? Getting around it by yeah, he's not really on the show. This is unsanctioned. We don't want him to be here. But we will provide the ref. If Roman is the chief and Jey is the chef, what is Jimmy? Injured. In the corner goes Jey. Oh, he just ripped his shirt off and big chop. Who remembers El Torito? I do. I can't say I was expecting him to be in the top 10 for most wins. Days, what happened to Lars Black match? Was that announced for this week, was it? Because it's not happened. In fact, where's Lars? I don't even know where Lars is. Drew stomping on the hand of Jay. Gets the ropes, goes Jay. Jay goes down. Days, read this. Bayley is 2 wins from Natalia's record. Natty has got 6-1-9. Bayley has got 6-1-7. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? That we're watching, like, records being broken. I find that incredible. Because there'll come a point where there'll be a woman, and maybe it'll be Natalya. Probably not. Don't know how much longer she's got. But, you know, Bayley's got longer. So you'd think Bayley will ultimately break that record. And maybe the others aren't that far behind. But eventually someone's going to set quite a high record that'll be difficult to beat. Like, that Cena one you would think would be difficult to beat. But I love that. I wish we knew how many wins people had. I really think they could dig into some of those stats and it would make it a bit more interesting. Because all of a sudden, that stat now just makes every match important. Do you know what I mean? If that was an actual stat that we saw on a regular basis, every single match would automatically be important. Because you're adding to your legacy. You could call it the legacy number. Something like that. You add into your legacy every win. So all of a sudden now matches don't need crazy stipulations. Legacy match. Next we've got a legacy match. And it's for someone to add another win to the column. I mean, that makes more sense if you start seeing that information. The fact it's always been hidden away. I wish they'd dig into that more. I really do. Days, if you were to turn Seth face, how would you do it? I would get Seth some help because clearly he has lost his mind. I kind of feel like he needs to help someone in trouble. It needs to be a case that, like, Big E is struggling against Roman and Seth helps him somehow. I mean, that would be the most logical way to do it, I think. Because actions speak louder than words. So if you want to show that Seth is face now, having him go in and get in like mental help and all of that's cool. But actions always speak louder. I mean, look at Murphy. Look what now he's a Mysterio because of his actions tonight. I found it. If you search the internet for Sportster Wrestling. Okay, very cool. Thank you for the info. Wrestling with statistics, wins and losses, mattering. That'll never work, says Esteban. No. Legends title works too as well, says Dave in real life. Aiden says time is flying by. It really is. It really is. We are staring at what I like to call the final 10 minutes. That's what I like to call it. I don't know what you call it. The final segment. The final run. Where would you put Rachel Starr and Chrissy Lynn on the roster when they debut? NXT. Right, we've got unsanctioned match underway. Jey Uso on top of Drew McIntyre, throwing in some big right hands. Jimmy is the tribal butler. Dave's Big E's attire was schoolhouse related. I don't know what that is. What schoolhouse? Is it some kind of film? Big chop by Drew. Why was he in attire as well? He's not wrestling. He hasn't wrestled. And he's not going to have time now, is he? Okay, nice kick out. Drew back in the corner. Jay backed into the other side. Yeah, that only just dawned on me. Why was he wearing? Perhaps he always wears it. Perhaps he's just always ready. He's always in ring attire. If ever is needed, he's ready to go. Or perhaps he was going to be facing Jey Uso tonight, and then Drew McIntyre decided to get involved. Stick his nose in where it didn't belong. We got Drew down the one side. Jay running over, but a clothesline by Drew. Another big shoulder tackle by Drew. Against the ropes. It was like a belly to belly, but it was a little bit off in the corner. Another one. If at first, very important lesson. If at first you don't succeed, give it another go. I think. Oh, nice. Kip up as well. So there we go. Drew over in the corner. Jay is down. Little smirk on the face of Drew. And you've got to think that Roman's going to come out at some point. We've got 8 minutes left. Double underhook looking for the future shock DDT, but couldn't get it. Kick to the midsection by Jey Uso. Another big strike by Jay. Was that a headbutt? What was it? A French kiss? There's a lot of kissing that goes on SmackDown, isn't there? Oh, big plant. There we go. 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by Jey Uso. Shoulder up. Oh, hello. A lot of deleted messages. Big boy Dally says, if at first you don't succeed, give up and cry. I think that's a really big lesson to all the youngsters watching. If at first you don't succeed, give up. Jey Uso outside the ring. Climbing up. A lot of smooching. I know, it's like Friday Night Smackdown, isn't it? It's why I watch. McIntyre climbing up. Looking for that superplex. Couldn't get it. They're both up top. We've got 7 minutes to go. McIntyre's upside down, flailing away like a fish out of water. What does Jay have in mind? McIntyre pops up, hurls him across the ring. Oh, he did a handstand. What can this guy not do, says Corey Graves. He did a handstand. Going for that Claymore. Jey Uso rolls out of the ring. And into the barricade. Into the ring. Into the barricade again. There's a kid on screen that I think's wearing like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles top. He was really into it as well. That was cool. That was cool. I tell you what, fill that Thunderdome with kids because their reactions are going to be interesting rather than adults just that are sitting there. If you're an adult watching this, just know you're boring, right? Your reactions are boring. There's not many adults in the Thunderdome that are like really into it, but the kid there, he was like, yeah! The kid was like really into it. But adults are overrated. Their reactions are dull. But speaking of adults, the tribal chief is here. Christina says, I missed Roman, and so he came out. Well, your tribal chief is here. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him, says Jey Uso. Roman, though, grabs Jay. I don't care if you beat him. Make him understand. Make him understand. Oh. Yeah, make him understand. I don't care if you beat him. Make him understand. Make him understand. Big strikes coming in by Jay. Drew is covering up. Well, he's not doing it. Make him understand. He should go in and go, understand. Do you understand? He's like, what? You've got to understand. Ah, Claymore. Well, that's not worked, has it? Oh, Roman should get a new family. Roman should get a new family. That family sucks. Look at Roman, though, staring at Drew. So unimpressed. So nonchalant. Look at him standing there with his belt, not moving, just standing. He is so cool. This is a Roman Reigns stan account. That's what this is. He looks like he's about to fall asleep. Honestly, Roman looks like he's about to... It's like Roman's like so unimpressed. Turns his back, walks away from Drew McIntyre. Make him understand. Well, Roman's got some thinking to do, hasn't he? That is the end of the show. Roman's got to figure out now what is he going to do. Because he's got a little bit of a problem here with Drew. I think that definitely means that Drew's winning on Monday. Which does beg the question, why did they take the freaking title off of him in the first place? It's a very good question to ask. Why take the title off of him to then put the... Do you think they took the title off of him because that was the plan? And then they went, oh, do you know what? We've completely messed up Survivor Series. And so now they're putting the title back on him. So I'm feeling very confident that they're going to get a new champione on Monday. I can't imagine them doing all this and then on Monday we just don't, nothing happens. Nothing changes. I can't imagine that. But then saying that, I couldn't imagine Chelsea Green getting added to a match and then she disappears. So, do you know what I mean? I am excited for that match. I want that match. They've done a very good job in this one episode of getting me into... I'm salivating right now. Oh, I want to see that match. I want to see Roman versus Drew. Right, people are pinging in their scores. Make sure that you do that as well. Basti says 9 out of 10 for this because Chelsea didn't win. Karoko says it was great. Shout out to Christina King. Shout out to you. Shout out to your cousin as well. I'm sorry to hear that news. J14 gives it a 7.5. Irma says 8. 9.1 from her. That's high. 775 says Jason. Brony says 7.5. The Gamer gives it 10 out of 10. Says this show was fire. See Wrestling says 10 out of 10. I can't take points off anywhere. Trey Gaming says 7.5. Alex gives it a 9. Irma gives it an 8. Good show. 7.5. Enjoyable show, says Brony FN. 7 misunderstandings out of 10. Anonymous J, shout out to you. Basti says great SmackDown. John gives it a 7.5. David gives it a 6. Jonathan says 8. Vega is gone. Esteban says 7.9. No higher, no lower. 7, 8, 7.5. 7 Star says, I'm giving it an 8 because I've never seen anyone disappear before. That's true. Solid show. The IC match was a low. Says Hype Man 15. Yeah. I kind of feel like Maybe Ziggler and Otis as well was a low. Wasn't really feeling that. The Sasha segment, I feel it still needs to be explained. Carmella's injected herself, but I understand that the story's still got to play out. But I'd like a bit more clarity as to if she's working with Bayley or if it's leading to a triple threat or where that's going. LB says 7.25. I've had to deduct some points for Taganori, the end game. Yeah. Days, remember, Miz could cash in on Drew at Survivor Series after his match with Roman, which would suck. My rating is 7.5. It'd also be crazy to think that Drew is potentially on the verge of being a 2-time WWF champion. And I have no idea how long he's going to hold that belt for. It is a better match. It is a better match. Do you know what I think might be better? Do you know what I'd be tempted to do? Why not have Drew beat up Orton? Orton gets counted out, but gets injured in the process. And as a result, news breaks through that Orton can't compete. So you keep both Drew and Orton looking strong. The title doesn't change. Because I've got a feeling they're only going to change it back shortly after Survivor. I feel like they're only doing this for Survivor Series. So let's not mess around with the belt, changing it for the sake of changing it. There's got to be a way that we can do a count-out win for Drew. So Drew wins the match. Randy doesn't lose the belt, but does get injured in the process. He's injured outside the ring. And then WWE can say, well, it's been confirmed that Randy is not going to be fit to compete this Sunday. So as a result, we need to provide an alternative. So it is going to be Drew versus Roman. You know, and Roman can say, like, you shouldn't even be in this match. You're not a champion. And Drew can be like, I told you I was going to win that match on Monday. I won the match on Monday. The reason I'm here is because I destroyed Randy to the point where he cannot compete. And I will do the same to you at Survivor Series. I really feel like there's a way out of this. I don't think we've got to put the belt on Drew, but I think they will put the belt on Drew. But I do hate it when the belt gets chucked around. Do you know what I mean? I'd much rather people just have good title reigns. But we'll see. It's going to make Raw very, very intriguing. Very, very intriguing. Drew is almost guaranteed the Survivor Series position with this face-off tonight. Nicole said, I would say The Fiend and Alexa could cost Randy on Monday. I'm all about that, says Nicole. That's a good shout. That's a good shout. Days, read this. If Randy loses Monday, it will be his 1,000th loss. Oh, that's interesting. People are really stuck into these stats now, aren't they?
Bipsy is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Dot you said WWF lol, you just earned one Nia Jax medals.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I see them as the same company. Well, they are the same company. So it doesn't really bother me if I say WWE or WWF. In regards to WWF, though, I think if I have said that, I didn't know I had, but if I have, it's probably because I'm doing all those WWF Raw reviews. So I'm just so used to saying WWF and watching WWF because I'm watching a lot of 93 at the moment. But yeah, it's the same company. It's the same thing. Just be glad I'm not sitting here talking about WWF. Aleister Black on SmackDown. I don't know. Actually, I don't know where he is. I think he is on SmackDown, isn't he? Did you know that Zelina Vega got released? Yes. If Drew wins the title on Monday, says Austin, Miz will take it Sunday, and then Randy will get it back at TLC or Royal Rumble. Universal Big Dog says, Days, read, Drew wins on Raw, Randy wins, Miz cashes in. Oh, it's just too messy. I don't like it. Don't like it. They could do it, but I don't like it. I don't like all this messing around. Big Boy Dally says 6.5. The Rollins match was the best. Everything else was just... Birrick says 8.35. I'm gonna give this... I think this show was watchable. I'm gonna give it... I think it was watchable, but was there anything spectacular? I suppose they've done a really good job of building up that main event, which was needed. They needed to do that because I really wasn't into Survivor Series. So, like, a lot of the matches I felt were a bit off. We saw Chelsea Green briefly before she disappeared. We got decent, good match. Ray, Seth, good match. I don't know. I think this is like a 7.25 for me. Otis Ziggler, I just didn't need in my life at all. Give it that. I think that's fair. I think if there's like an OMG, like a big OMG moment, then that's when I'm sneaking into the 8s. But yeah, 7.25 for me. I can see there's... what is interesting about this show is there's some people that have gone lower than that. Like Jonathan giving it a 4.5. BBY PSI giving it a 6.25. So there's people that have gone lower, but then there's people that have gone higher as well. So it does seem like this show is really split people. There's people all along that spectrum of the scores. So I'll shoot myself into the middle. Days, please read this. What if Miz cashes in on the winner of Orton and Drew on Monday night and Miz wins the title on Raw? It could be Roman versus Miz. I don't think so, Brian. Just because they've just spent a lot of this show building up Roman versus Drew. I don't think that they would spend that time for us to end up getting Roman versus Miz. I think they've given TV time here to Roman Drew. So I'm feeling very confident that that's the match we're getting at Survivor Series. Shout out to Anonymous J. Shout out to Universal Big Dog. We've got about 5 minutes left and then we will say goodbye. Of course, we are back tomorrow for UFC. Should be a really good show tomorrow because the thing about tomorrow's card is it hasn't got like big star names on it. It's got a decent main event and there's a few people on the card. But honestly, this is just going to be an easy watch. It's just some interesting prospects. Couple of girls fighting that are like, both of them are 21, which is like they're very, very young. I think actually the one is the youngest person in the UFC right now. So there's going to be some interesting fights, but maybe not like big names. Obviously, that is about a week away. We've got UFC 255 on the horizon, 2 championship matches. So very much looking forward to tomorrow. And as I said as well, Raw review. We will have another Raw review out on Sunday. I really do need to look and see what's coming out because there's some really fun videos on the way. I've got about 8 videos that are recorded, edited, and ready to just drop onto the channel. But I tend to drop one on a Sunday, on a Tuesday, and on a Thursday. That's kind of the pattern that I've got into now. So the next one's Sunday. And coming up, there's some good ones. We've got March to WrestleMania. We've got UK Rampage. We've got... I'm currently working on Smack 'em Whack 'em, which was a Coliseum home video release. I'm currently working on that. So there's some, not just Raws, but like some specials that are coming out as well. Eventually, we will do pay-per-views in regards to like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, things like that. They're just not my focus at the moment because I think there's a lot of channels that have done those. I think you can find reviews of those. But I don't think it's as easy to find reviews of like old Raws and maybe Coliseum videos and like the older stuff. So yeah, if you've not seen them, check them out. There's I think 8 on the channel now and another one coming on Sunday. So big thank you to everyone that's been watching and enjoying those. Kane has lost 1,215 matches. Anthony, shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate the support. Alexander said, what did you think of the Chad Gable segment? I thought it was interesting. I like the idea that he's got this Alpha Academy. I'd like it if he was to build up some kind of a stable and get some vignettes. I'd like to see Alpha Academy and see him train him and see those guys doing some work away from a WWE ring. That could be interesting. The look at the end suggests that it might not go that far and it might just be a trap for Otis. So we're going to have to see how it plays out. But yeah, I like it. I like the fact they're using him. Am I excited about Chad Gable Otis? Not at the moment. They're going to have to work to make me excited for it. But they could. They could. I wasn't excited for Survivor Series, but my interest in that show has now gone up quite drastic following tonight's SmackDown episode. So Brian says, final score, I'm giving it a 10. Just for Liv's win. And knowing that the Riot Squad are both on Team SmackDown. Drew's going to get the title back, says Wrestling Days fam. I'm sad there was no Lana through a table, says Dom. That's a Monday thing. It's 9 on Monday. Monday's Raw is going to be huge. We've got a title match where the title could definitely change hands. We got a tag title match. And are we going to get 9? Are we going to get number 9 on Monday? That's the big question. I would imagine there's going to be big fallout from this Zelina Vega thing as well. So that's obviously going to develop over the weekend also. Don't know when she'll speak, but I'm pretty sure she will speak to someone. I should imagine Jericho is on the phone to her as we speak, trying to get her onto his podcast. In a few weeks, I'm calling it, we'll get the wedding of Murphy and Tuck, says Big Boy Dally. Colby says, bump up the score. We saw someone disappear tonight. It was wild. It was wild. I mean, I don't know that's how I would book her, though. That's the only thing. Of all the people that I would like to see disappear, I don't know that Chelsea Green was, high on that list. Next week, Team Raw and SmackDown, the women will brawl and Nia uses the chaos as an opportunity to put Lana through a table again. I hope so. You think Taker is the 5th member? Do I think Taker's the 5th member? I don't think so. Otis should be the next Yokozuna. Alex said, spoke via Twitch, says, thanks to WWE, she's got nothing bad to say about them. Really? Interesting. I mean, she might not say anything bad about how she was treated in her time there, but I'm expecting her, I mean, she's already come out and said about she believes in unionization. And I'd imagine that that's a belief that's only going to get more vocal. I asked this question before, but now that we have seen Drew on Raw, can you see Roman showing up during the Drew-Randy match? That's a good shout, Eric. Yeah, I suppose I could see, because he's going to have an interest in that match, isn't he? So him turning up would make sense. It's going to be Hulk Hogan, says Colby. Bailey disappeared as well, says Chavez. That's a really good point. She did disappear. She was on the entrance ramp. Carmella came. You never see Bailey and Carmella at the same time, do you? Think about that. Perhaps they're one and the same. Just saying. Wrestling Days fan, shout out to you. Lana's going to go through 2 tables next week. One on Raw, one on SmackDown. Oh, my dream. A double. A Lana double is my absolute dream. Right, my friends, we are done for another week. Big shout out, big thank you to everyone that joined us. Really, really appreciate the support, as I said. Absolutely love the weekends. Like, it's my favourite part. this is my favorite part. I love Fridays because it's the start of a weekend. So we get SmackDown, we get UFC tomorrow. Now, as I said, I'm starting to drop those Raw reviews on a Sunday. And it's just going to be great to be working through those, get to some really big moments. And there's big ones coming as well. I'm really excited for those. And then Monday we got Raw as well. So, yeah, the weekends are really, really cool. So, thank you to everyone that joined us. Really do appreciate the support. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.